Introducing PubCoin. PubCoin is the rewards program for pub sports contributors. Regular chat contributors share their play of the day, POD, in the YouTube chat, including the phrase POD in their message. At the end of the week, the amount of units earned are converted into PubCoins. PubCoin can be used as reward points for prizes, shop discounts, and contests.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Mills here, Pub Sports Radio. Do you guys want to challenge the personalities here at Pub Sports Radio? Do you guys think you're better than them at entering in your MMA predictions and picks? Would you want to get paid for it? $100? Here's how you do it, man. You sign up right here at the link below. It's just this easy. PubSportsRadio.com. Enter your email. Pick your weekly picks. That's it. Oh, and you get bonus points if you can predict how they're going to win in what round. Every single week, a new winner's getting crowned. So every Saturday on Pub Sports Radio. So come on and check us out. You can win $100 just for signing up. Only thing you need to do is see if you can beat us here at Pub Sports Radio by entering your UFC predictions and picks weekly. Do it. I dare you. See you guys soon.
Your membership to Gold, you will be automatically entered in every horse race, every Wednesday and Friday. It is time to race horses. We are racing camels today.
Shout out to the Gold members. We're racing in San Antonio immediately here. And we're off. 2 minutes, 74 canals on this racetrack. It's wide. We're racing in San Antonio.
Pat Wally moving forwardly. Jeff Slaughter in the mix as well. And as is Randall Sheffield, who's put that beautiful nose out front.
But it's actually real grass here, Jimmy. Maybe Kentucky bluegrass. Oldie, no! There he goes. There he goes. Oldie in the lead now. K. Wolf falls back. The horses love it. Sometimes they stop and eat it on the way to the finish line. That's why your horses start so far in the back. Here, oh, look at Nuss Flush Allen bursting out here. J-Dub in the mix. Rude Boy up here as well. Jimmy, take it away.
There's Oldie. Oldie is moving to the front. We are past the halfway mark in our 2 mile. And there's Ricky Levy.
Oh my goodness, he's in the mix here. Jimmy, take it home. This is our first dog race ever.
19 seconds left in the horse race here. It's Fernando Mendoza trying to find the wire. 14 seconds left. Can Fernando Mendoza take this home? Here comes Kenny Can. Kenny Can wants a piece of the pie. Put his schnoz up front. Ricky Bobby, 9 seconds left. Can Donut Silks make a run? Can Res Mall make a run to be $50? You son of a bitch! Here comes Tori Coker. Kenny Can Smoking Mirrors. Director 97 home. That is great. Here comes Jason Meyer, the other auto custodian. Billy Friedrich. Jones one. They're all coming down to the finish.
Coin! Nowhere!
Oh no! Fanatical Jim!
Get 'em, Jimmy, where low shack at? The bottle's getting empty, I'm not cracking, we stacking. Chips, all of this, what I want, plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone, I prefer elevated Pub Sports Radio. Time to get educated, who can produce, pay the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call the truth. They get slaughtered, can't forget Jeff and Low Baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon, cause we lead. Oh yeah, pubbing. We be pubbing!
Right. Say hey everyone. Welcome into Betting with Bouquett. My name is Jose Bouquett. Nice to see everyone bright and early here on a Wednesday morning here. Yes, I am hosting Wednesday mornings now for the football season. Jimmy away here. That means I am also hosting tomorrow and Friday as well. So tune in to a week-long series of Betting with Bouquets. As you guys know, my name is Jose Bouquett. It's going to be a whole lot of fun talking about all these games we have on tap today. We have a full slate of baseball. We'll be breaking that down together. Dabby Cab will be coming in for a best bet here later on in the show. And then we have two excellent college football cappers in Wine Time Sports and Connor Mack Picks joining us here again. Going to be breaking down quite a few college football games here today, giving you guys early looks on those games, and I cannot wait to get into all of them. Both cappers have been dominating. Dabby Cab heated up, I should say, on the diamond, so he's on fire right now. I had a slight winning day yesterday, up a unit, can't complain. We'll get to the records here in a second, but would like to shout you guys out first. It's been a good week so far. Let's keep it rolling, guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. You can guys, by the way, if you haven't noticed, college football, or NFL football, all those cuts are up right now. If you missed last night's Bankroll Blitz, tune into it right now. You can pick what game you want to watch. You can watch the whole show. Tune into those cuts. And do not forget, tomorrow night begins the Pub Sports Radio Bet Online free roll tournaments there. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's open to anyone that has tickets. So we want to see one of our guys win it ideally here. The top 5 players get entered into a $400K tournament. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. I'll put the link to the tweet right now explaining, or I guess advertising it, and then explaining how to get there. It's a whole lot of fun, guys. You guys know, if you guys have played these poker tournament nights with us before, they're fun. This one here, it's open to the public, or should I say open to anyone that has this code here. So we have a lot of people in there already. It's a lot of fun, and we want someone in the top 5 from Pub Sports Radio, low bagger, someone that we know in the mix here. So we have 2 of them starting tomorrow. It's going to be fun. We'll do that on Thursday Night Football as well. And we have one next Thursday as well. Bet Online is our lovely host. And like I said, this is a free roll, so you don't even have to deposit. Just go make an account. Use promo code PUBSPORTS. I put the link to the tweet kind of explaining how you get there and everything in the chat. So tune in, please, and thanks for the Thursday Night Football stream, and play some cards with us as well. So with that being said, let us now shout out the chat. Someone I forgot to shout out with Pete yesterday, Ronnie Crawford. Ron and I, thankfully, I was on this as well. It changed my night. Houston money line for the dog play of the day. Cashes. Shout out to you, Ron Crawford. And for his dog spreadsheet dog play of the day, San Francisco Giants plus 154. Shout out to you, Ron Crawford. We're not too far behind him. Stacks. I'm going to guess that's Hunter. Hunter Goodman over 1.5 bases at plus 128. Shout out to you, Stacks. Let's get it going early on a Wednesday afternoon.
Stacks.
Nice to see you. Excuse me. Nice to see you, Top Set, DC Capper, Mud Dog, all you guys. Talk Sports with JT. By the way, the Tom Leach in here as well. Tom Leach, made in England play of the day. Man City versus Inter. Asian handicap. 3 Asian handicap. Corner lines minus 120. Good luck, Tom. You know, I don't get into the corners market and everything, but we had a great win yesterday on Liverpool money line. It's a little bit, it got sweaty there for a second because they scored first, but then, you know, Liverpool flexed and did their thing. So that was a very good winner for us as well. Let's get right after it, guys. Let's not dilly-dally. We have a lot of work to get into. Full MLB slate. Told the lads. About an hour for the MLB. Then we'll get into college football here. Connor Mack will lead us off. Then Wine Time will end it. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So one last reminder. We have a Thursday night football stream coming up here at Pub Sports Radio. Patriots, Jets. It's going to be an interesting one. I can't believe that the Jets are 6.5-point favorites last time I checked. But they are, and it's going to be a fun matchup. I really hope they win this game. A lot of good cappers will be joining me then, and we'll be playing cards here again. And once again, that promo code, PSR Ticket. PSR Ticket. Hit that promo code in the poker section, and you'll be in with us here. All right, let's get right after it. A's Cubs to start off here. And yes, like I said, we went. Thank you, Nasty Nate. Appreciate it. Thank you, man. And it's -3. I apologize, Tom Leach. I never, like I said, I don't get into the corners market very much here. So I'm assuming it's Man City -3 corners over Inter then. So that makes sense, I guess. Okay, cool. But let's get after it. I'll recap yesterday real quick. I went 0-3 to start the day on those totals. 0-3 on all three 7.5s, which was incredibly frustrating. I should have at least went 1-2 on them. But I think you said, Tom, in earlier in the show, you were also on that under in the Giants-Orioles game. One of the worst beats of the year. Anytime you lose a total like that in the ninth inning, I automatically categorize it as a bad beat or one of the worst beats of the year. It happened a couple times, but it was just disgusting to see. Yesterday, well, we lose that one. We lose Red Sox, and we lose the Nationals unders there. Cash the Rockies and Diamondbacks under. That one got a little more sweatier than it had to be. Rockies just kept pouring it on. And we cashed their money line as well. That was great. Phillies, Brewers under 7. We cashed that. That was great. We didn't cash the Brewers money line. I will admit, I quietly bet the Brewers money line again when they were down 3-1. It was super annoying that I did that, but it was okay. Pirates, Cardinals, first 5 under 4.5. Great bet there. And like we said off the top of the show, Astros money line led us into the winning week there. So it's going to be fun. Top Set. I know. I'm sorry, Top Set. Let's get one here today. We had a winning day yesterday, but I want to lessen the volume perhaps a little bit. Higher percentage. That'd be awesome because we're right there on the doorstep of being a winning capper. We're right there on a winning capper doorstep here. And honestly, guys, I've been grinding my ass off all year to try to get this. And I want to be able this offseason to be able to say that I was a winning capper in the 2024 baseball season. So this means a lot to me, and I really want it. So let's go after here and get it here. Shout out to you, Ron Crawford, dropping his other Champions League plays here. Appreciate that, my guy. All right, Oakland Cubs. Here, Brady Brasso, Justin Steele. Brady Brasso made a great debut of himself. Well, I don't think it was his debut. I guess it was his second major league start here. He's had 2 now, both of them 6-inning shutouts. Well, I should say 6-inning shutout, 5 1/3 shutout. Obviously, they were against the Tigers and the White Sox. Tigers have been super hot, but the White Sox are the White Sox, so we have to take that with a grain of salt. Does it make me want to run to the window here and continue to back him? No, this definitely feels like I forgot who the pitcher was already. It might have been Luis Ortiz, I think, on the Pirates that I challenged him to go 3 consecutive shutout appearances. It's kind of the same vibe right here. Unfortunately, the Cubs are just a little bit too juiced. Nut Flush, I know you're in the chat right now. Shout out to you. This would be a team total game if I've seen one. Just challenge Brady Brasso. If you're going to pitch so well, do it 3 times in a row. I'll challenge you to do that. You can get 2.5 for the first 5 team total at plus 115. I don't hate that. Let's check the weather because obviously if the weather and wind matter in any place in Major League Baseball, it is Chicago here. And luckily we have 6-7 mile-an-hour winds blowing in, but that is not that bad in a Wrigley Field environment. So, I just do not believe that Brady Brasso can go out here and pitch another shutout inning or shutout streak here. I'd be surprised. Justin Steele on the other side, we kind of know his deal at this point. Solid, very good left-hander. Can have his moments of being bad, but generally a good bet. 5 innings 2 earned runs, 7 innings, 2 earned runs, 10 Ks, no walks against Detroit. Just a solid pitcher here that I wouldn't mind backing. Oakland against lefties, and like I said, I've moved my split from the 15th to from August 15th, I should say, to September 1st. So my splits now are from September 1st to today. Against left-handed pitching, Oakland against them, they are, and I'm looking, 15th, 85 weighted runs created plus, so still not very good. I don't know. I just don't think I don't think that this is the spot for Oakland. I think that the Cubs probably roll here. Let's go to the market and see if there's any fear on their side. Predictably, 89% of the bets, 79% of the money on the Cubs here. I mean, it's a pretty big favorite, and that's not to be shocked. But I'm going to refresh my odds pages real quick to see if we get these updated odds. Minus 140 opener up to minus 170. I mean, yeah, I get it. It makes a whole lot of sense. It's just challenging Brady Brasso to do this again. I wouldn't do it. I don't know. I find it interesting to see what's going to happen here. Great note by Sharpie. I forgot to mention this as well. Steele's coming off of the IL, 15-day elbow. Good note there, Sharpie. I just ultimately, this cap is obvious to me. Obviously, you guys have heard how I'm talking about it. Much more Brady Brasso versus the Cubs bats. And I kind of would just take a team total and wouldn't even worry about Justin Steele, like I said. So I lean that way. The big market move up towards the Cubs makes it feel like that Steele will have a pretty good outing. And if he goes, like Sharpie says, maybe 3 innings here, we have a Cubs bullpen who I'm looking right now is pretty fresh. They only threw Jack Neely, Sean Armstrong, and Daniel Palencia yesterday. So, you might get Drew Smiley after him or Nate Pearson. So that might be a concern, but just to cut out the pitching and just take a team total there. So no action for me. I'll move on here, and we move on to Arizona, Colorado, which got us paid yesterday. Well, both ways, which was nice. Rockies win. Diamondbacks has been exceedingly good in the second half, but the market was saying Rockies, and sometimes you just have to listen to the market, which was nice. So we'll start off with the market on this game. 82% of the bets, 88% of the money on Arizona. That's excessive. It went from minus 148 to minus 155. Full game money line at Bet Online. Again, reminder, you guys will hear me say this a bunch in the next 2 days, but go to Bet Online and sign up for our poker tournament. It's a free roll that Pub Sports Radio is a part of. And the top 5 get paid out with a ticket to a $400,000 poker tournament. And just remember to use promo code PSR ticket for those tournaments to pop up there. So it's a lot of fun. Gomber versus Eddie Rodriguez here. Eduardo Rodriguez, back-to-back days against lefties. A little concerning, obviously, as well, but market saying he's going to pitch well here. I have not wanted to back him kind of all year. It's been a stop-and-start season for him, but he does fall in the category of pitchers who are fresh in the later half of the season, and I want to back those guys. I have not wanted to back him all year. He's not really pitched well. It's been 4 innings all year, 2 earned runs, 5 runs, 4 of them earned, 3 earned runs, 5 earned runs. In the beginning of August, when he started, he was pitching kind of well, but like I said, I think he just needed to kind of get into the groove and roll here. So I'm not going to back him here. It's kind of the same thing I'm doing and did with Walker Buehler. I was not going to back Walker Buehler until he finally showed me that he is back ready to go. And I believe, I can't remember off the top of my head what was his last line was, but he had a good start last time out, and it looked like the old Walker Buehler. And I was like, okay, so maybe he's back. I can consider backing him here. It feels the same thing for Eddie here. If you don't pitch well against the Rockies, and I don't know, first of all, it's obviously in Coors, but I still think you should pitch well against the Rockies, Eddie. And if he does, I can easily see him being a back pitcher, the 1-2 more times. Maybe we'll see him in the next 2 weeks. But no action here. Gomber, we all know, is the king of the first 5 innings, but line's not really going in his direction. So I have not moved on that. I forgot to give out the market for the total here. Unsurprisingly, you guys will guess that 85% of the bets, 87% of the money on the over in the first game here. And the line has moved towards the over, went from minus 120 at 7.5 to minus 115 to the over there. In game 2 here, we have pretty split. Pretty shockingly enough, these Coors Field totals tend to bring out more under money because of the big number. 58% of the bets and 53% of the money on the over. So again, pretty split. It opened up at 11, juice to the over. It has gone down to 10.5 at Bet Online, Bookmaker, Heritage. So semi-interesting for an under bet here, but I'll stay off this one. No action for me. We'll look in the chat and see. Oh, I guess our guy Goodman. I guess Goodman is in this game here, McKelvey. So shout out to you, Justin. Good luck, my guy. And Sharpie reminding me that we need Austin Barnes catching Walker Buehler. Good notes there. All right, I'll keep that in my tickler file, Sharpie, to keep that in the memory bank here. Walker Buehler. I've been spelling his name completely wrong. Needs Austin Barnes. All right. Thank you, Sharpie. I wrote that down to remind myself. Next time I see him, say that as well. Top set likes Colorado money line and team total under 5.5. I don't hate that look at all. Plus 500, plus 550. I should give you all your credit there. But I get it. All right. Let's keep rolling here to game number 3. Chicago White Sox, Los Angeles Angels here. The bum fights of all bum fights here. Jared Schuster, Los Angeles Angels. The White Sox, quiet as is kept, kind of hot recently. It's quite funny to, and this is all relative terms, obviously here, but it's very fun to watch this team go. They're 4-6 their last 10. They lost their 3-game winning streak they were on yesterday. Do I want to back them after they're playing their best baseball? No. Jared Schuster, it feels like a blast from the past at this point, and he's a very young pitcher. Just we've seen him on the Braves at some point, so it's like, oh man, I feel like I've seen him forever at this point. But Schuster has been primarily a bullpen arm for the White Sox. We'll see him for 1, maybe 3 innings at most here. From Schuster. So let's go to RotoWire, and we're getting a Gyro Iridia. We'll just call him a Gyro to start here for the White Sox as the primary here. So let's look up real quick and see. He's a 22-year-old righty, born in 2001. That is disgusting. Obviously, he's from Venezuela. That's hilarious. Our guy here has only gone 1 inning in all of his appearances in the majors so far. So I don't know if he's actually going to be the primary the RotoWire has here. So it's going to be, we just have a bullpen day from the White Sox. Do I love backing that? Not really, but I do expect them to pitch pretty well. Kohanowitz on the other side. It's funny that I finally figured out how to say this guy's name, and that's purely because of Jimmy. So shout out to Jimmy the Bag, who I'm sure is flying right now to lovely Hawaii. And I have requested for some beach bum play of the days from Jimmy. So we'll see if we can potentially get him live at some point this week. Maybe we'll get him to send a video of some sort. But it's very good. It's going to be very fun to see what we can do with Jimmy in Hawaii here. But Kohanowitz, last 3 appearances they're all on the road. At Minnesota, 5 2/3, 4 earned runs. At Texas, 6 innings, 3 earned runs. At Detroit, 5 shutout. It's 6 shutout. It's crazy that I'm seeing every pitcher so far pitch well against Detroit, and still the Detroit Tigers are in this playoff hunt right there. It's quite funny to watch all this happen. It's like the 4th pitcher now. But this bump fight is not one I will be betting personally, unless the market, is screaming one direction. And I don't think Harry Styles is popping up on my screen here. 86% of the bets, 83% of the money on the Angels here. Line has gone from minus 148 to minus 143 at Bet Online. So I guess semi-interesting. Not enough movement to really tickle me. At Bookmaker was at minus 150. It is now minus 143 there as well. For the total here, we have 80% of the bets, 79% of the money on the over. And the total has not moved really at all. 9 minus 115 to the under. Bookmaker has it at 8.5 right now, but they opened up at 9 minus 125 to the under. So, I probably lean under here again. A bullpen day think can keep the Angels off balance. Kohanowicz is not horrible. Angels, both these bats are awful. But I'm staying off this game too. So no action. The market not really pushing me in a direction here. But if anyone bet an under in this game, I definitely wouldn't hate it at all. So we move on here. And yes, shout out to Loshak on the Rockies there as well, Wager Detective. That was a good bet by him and I. Giants, Orioles, next one on our slate here. I can't believe we lost this under. This under was, again, a frustrating 3 sets of unders there. And this one was just the worst one, obviously. 4-0 in the 9th inning. You think you're all set, and then Craig Kimbrell comes on the bump, and you start shaking, up 4-0 or down 4-0, whatever you want to call it. And it was disappointing to say the least. I hopefully will not be affected here today, because we'll start with the markets. 74% of the bets, 60% of the money on the over in this game, and kind of the same scenario as yesterday. 8.5 minus 117 to the under. We're at an 8 now. Even money, or minus 110 each way, I should say. Bookmaker opened this up 8.5 minus 115, now down to 8. Heritage as well. Let's check there. 8.5, now down to an 8. I mean, I kind of feel like we have to go back to the well, guys. I kind of do. Again, I'll reiterate it again. 74% of the bets, 60% of the money on the over. Gone down a half run. I think it's a winning bet. I really do here. And we'll talk about Birdsong, because I mean, though the Orioles offense has been kind of dormant here in this last few days, I still ultimately trust them more than the Giants offense, especially after a Giants offense puts up 10 runs yesterday. So I don't know. Let's check out Orioles against righties. 18 days here. That's Oakland, 104 weighted runs created plus. That's not too bad. Birdsong. And we were worried about Birdsong in his first few appearances here, but has settled in. Has pitched well. 5-inning shutout against Milwaukee. 3 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs against Arizona. 5 walks that day. 4 Ks. His last 4-5 starts before that great performance in Milwaukee. 5 walks, 4 walks, 4 walks, 3 walks. Disgusting stuff. Now, he managed it pretty well in 2 of those 4 starts, but it's a scary thing to try to back him here, especially with all those walks. Like I said, 4 strikeouts, 1 walk in his last appearance against Milwaukee. Orioles, I would love to see full season. I'd love to see what their walk percentage is against righties here. If it's high, it'd be a little more concerning. If it's lower, we'll have more confidence here. Orioles are 15th, 8.1% walk rate against righties, and their strikeout rate against righties is, I've lost it here, 21st, so 21.2. So it's not really that bad. They're both pretty good. Nice to see you, North Ender. Robert Franklin likes a Giants money line here, and how about a Giants team total under? Jose, Dean Kramer. I mean, yeah, I don't hate that at all, Tom Leach. I personally don't bet those just because that's like a true, and I mean, you could say this about the fucking under yesterday, but that's like a true 27 outs kind of bet. Like, you're sweating that every inning of the game. But I like that look, Tom. And, Nufflush saying in the last 18 games, they've broken a total of 6 times. Man, I don't know. Am I going to bet a team total under here with the Giants? Let's see what I get. If it could get a 4.5, I'll definitely consider it. We have an 8 total. Full game is 3.5. So that is where we're fucked here. And it's juiced to the under even at 3.5, guys. Which is crazy to see. So I'm going to move on the full game under again. And if I get bit in the ass again, I get bit in the ass. But we'll ride again on the under. Giants, Orioles, full game under here. And again, maybe I should consider a first 5 under. I'll check out the first 5 line movement right now. And if it's moved, like a half run or whatever, I'll definitely move on the first 5. I'll definitely consider it. Bullpen wise as well, real quick. Orioles bullpen. They used Keegan Aiken, Craig Kimbrell, and Burt Smith. So none of the top tier guys, at least. And of course, they kept Craig Kimbrell out there to eat his shit when he kept giving up all those runs. Giants on the other side used Tyler Rogers, Tristan Beck, Sean Jelly, or should I say Helly, and Eric Miller for 2 pitches. So they should be all ready to go here as well. All right. Under is going to be an interesting play for me on this card. Now, first 5 wise, I want to look. No movement first 5. So yeah, full game. Full game under for me. 8. And I believe I'm getting a -120 there. Yeah. 8 -120 for me. So we move on. Braves, Reds. Ooh, this Braves team took a tough loss yesterday. Mets are 2 games up now in the wild card. And you guys know I have the Braves to not make the playoffs at +375. I am really sweating that out. It would definitely help the Red Sox to make the playoffs bet. I bet that as well. So definitely cancel that out and then some, which would be nice. But man, the Braves are just, this is it. Hey, this has been like the whole year for them. Backs against the wall. They're hitting a little bit now, but it's just not against and not enough. And the bullpen and pitching has kind of collapsed a little bit. You've got Swellenbach on the bump here, and we've talked about these young pitchers. It's late in the season. It feels like they're all hitting the wall here. Schwellenbach easily in his career high innings pitched right now, 103 2/3. I'm a little worried about him fatigue-wise. I don't know what to make of him as well. And Jakob Yunis, let's talk about him here in a second. Let's talk Swellenbach's last 3 games real quick. Dodgers, 6 innings, 2 earned runs, great appearance. Toronto, 5 innings, 10 hits, 6 runs, 3 of them earned. Philadelphia, 5 2/3, 5 hits, 2 earned runs there. So still pitching fine, even though I'm suspecting a little fatigue to set in sometime soon. Jakob Yunis on the other side here. And maybe I should just call him Jacob, but I don't know. I like calling him Jakob. At Cardinals, 5 innings, 1 earned run. At the Mets, 5 shutout innings. A Mets team that obviously needs all the wins they can get. He has pitched just solidly since he's been on Cincinnati, really. He's only given up 2 earned runs in 4 appearances in his last 4 appearances in Cincinnati. So, I mean, you could easily tell me this is a live dog here. Let's check out the market here and see what they think. 75% of the bets, 84% of the money on the Braves. I would love if this moved down. Open up at -142. It is at -146. It has been doing the Irish jig up and down. It got up to -152 at one point, and it's climbed back down. It got down to -139 even at one point, and it's gone back up to -146. Yeah, if the market was showing a little more of its hand here, if it closes like if it was -135 right now for the Braves, I'd be all over the Reds. But I don't think I can move it with that. It's not much line movement. Maybe that should be an indicator right there, but I don't know. 79% of the bet, 71% of the money on the over in this game here as well. And we've gone from a 9 to an 8.5. Bet Online had this as a 9 minus 118 to the under and moved it a couple hours later to 8.5. And I'm going to look at other sites here. Bookmaker still has this as a 9. And it's juiced to the under. And Heritage has a 9 and 8.5, excuse me. But it's moved back and forth between the 8.5 and 9 here. So, excuse me, I was actually looking at the wrong one for that last one. It's been 8.5 here. They opened up 8.5, excuse me, on Heritage. So, I don't know. I'm staying off this game as well. I think the Reds are very much a live dog here. But I'm not going to move on it here. J-Dub saying I'm on San Francisco. Birdsong is a unit against lefties. O's sending out one righty. SMH here. I'm going to be on the under here, J-Dub. So I wish you luck there as well. That's a great question, Slow Jam. That was a great bet by him. And I hope anyone else, if you were listening that day, jumped on the Astros to win the division. Because, Seattle, they're playing much better than I thought they would be, but I still think they're fucked. Speaking of the Astros, let's talk about them now and potentially bring on our special guest here for baseball. Astros Padres here. Dylan Cease, Framber Valdez, pitching matchup of the day. And by the way, never mind, I was wrong. I just looked at my text messages. And he's on another game here, which will be happening here shortly. So that's very, very fun. But let's talk about this game. 6.5? A 6.5 full game total here for both sides. This is a World Series matchup / playoff preview of sorts. I mean, odds wise, especially, we will see 6.5s quite frequently in the playoffs, I'm sure. And this is a little taste. We've talked about Framber Valdez on this show plenty of times and how I believe that he is probably the best pitcher in baseball right now, with fatigue baked in and everything. Framber, he's just going to keep getting better as the season gets on because he's done this so many times, and he's going to be bet on in the playoffs. And then we have Dylan Cease. Dylan Cease, who has dominated. He's, has a new lease on life because he's on a team that's going to make the playoffs. He's not on the White Sox. He's feeling good about himself. His last appearance, 6 shutout innings against the Giants and a revenge start against Logan Webb, who the Giants got him for 6 innings, 4 earned runs. Classic zigzag theory right there. Logan Webb didn't pitch as well, but that was zigzag theory to the max right there for Dylan Cease. His pitch generally okay, but it's not been shutout performances. I'll tell you that. We'll go back after those 2 starts against the Giants. 5 innings, 3 earned runs. 4 1/3, 4 earned runs. 6 1/3, 3 runs. 5 1/3, 5 2/3, 3 runs. I mean, I think everyone can start seeing where I'm going with this. 6.5? I don't know. It's going to be a very, very interesting game to watch. We'll start with this total. 66% of the bets, 64% of the money on the over. And this total started at 7 according to my odds sheet here. And I'm going to refresh real quick. I'd like to keep refreshing to see if we get, the updated odds, et cetera, et cetera. This page is slowing down here, so we might be crashing. But I'll mention again, 66% of the bets, 64% of the money on the over. If you guys had this line, if you guys saw this line starting at 7 as well, let me know in the chat. Money line wise, 53. Wow, pretty split. 53% of the bets, 51% of the money on the Padres here. I want to bet an over in this game. I think 6.5 is a little aggressive here, especially because, these bullpens pretty spent after last night. Hector Neris, 18 pitches. Hader threw 2 innings. I should say 4 outs. I don't know if he'll go again here today, but he is facing his former squad, so maybe he'll nut up here. Brian Abreu, 21 pitches. Ryan Presley, 15 pitches. Those are all the aces. The bullpen aces. So if we're going to get them on the second half of a back-to-back, I typically like our odds there. On the Padres side, of course, they have a phenomenal bullpen as well. But Jason Adam, who's been one of the best relievers in baseball since being traded, 3 consecutive days of work, he's not going to go. Tanner Scott through Sunday and Monday, got the day off yesterday, might be available. Robert Suarez, 3 consecutive days. Don't know if he'll be. I doubt he'll be available. Jeremiah Estrada threw 24 on Sunday, off day on Monday, and threw 5 pitches yesterday. They'll probably need him to go. Adrian Morejon used up, and Alec Jacobs. So, sure, these starting pitchers are very good, but I think these guys are not 6.5 worthy right now, and not 6.5 worthy with these bullpens. So I'm going to move on the over here, and it's going to be a very, very interesting game for me to watch here. So let me go to the odds here at our friends at Bet Online and go here 6.5 minus 115 here. And if it did go from 7 to 6.5, I'm obviously going to be a little more concerned. I don't like going up against the market often, but I do indeed think that this is just way, way too low. Pub drop alert from our guy Kong's Clips here saying Syracuse first half minus 5.5. Kongs, we will talk about that game later on today. So it's going to be very, very fun. Drip Skylark in the chat. MJ Faults in here as well. Nice to see that Walker home run save you, my guy. It didn't screw me on the under, so I'm happy to see that. Barry likes Man City and Holland to score at plus 105. It feels like you could bet that like every game, Barry, and you'll be winning money at some point. Like, my goodness, that guy. And yeah, okay, let's keep it rolling here. I like the over minus 115. And I'm waiting for my my totals odds page to return to me here. So we might not be getting live movement on totals here for the next few games, but we'll keep it pushing. We'll keep it rolling to this game. And goddamn, Bobby Miller, ultimate do not bet list for Bobby Miller. I didn't bet him yesterday. Obviously, you guys know this if you tune in. But that was like the last stand for me. And it's like, and I'm sure Sharpie echoes this as well. Sharpie was probably out before this, but like, if you can't pitch against the Miami Marlins, Dodgers ain't going to want you. Dodgers not going to need you. His ass is going to get sent down to the minors. And as Sharpie reminded us on Tuesday, Tony Gonsolin still alive in the minors. Will probably get called up at some point, but we're getting Landon Knack here today against Ryan Weathers. Ryan Weathers, it's been a while. Shout out to Nickelback, who I learned is Canadian. Been a while since we saw Ryan Weathers. He's coming off the 60-day IL here. Finger issue for our guy, Ryan Weathers here. He had 3 minor league rehabs, 5 shutout innings, 2 2/3, 6 hits, 4 runs, and 3 shutout innings in single A to start his rehab stint. I mean, if it was any other team against the Dodgers, against the Marlins here, I would definitely consider taking Ryan Weathers. Maybe I will take him in another game that he's pitching later on in the season. But I'm not going up against the Dodgers here. No, thank you. 82% of the bets, 87% of the money on them here. We have gone from minus 175. We've not really moved. Still at minus 175. Bookmaker, the same thing as well. And for the total here, 87% of the bets, 92% of the money on the over here. So I understand why people are betting the over. By the way, I've got my odds back for the totals here, and I can say this one from an 8.5 to a 9. 8.5 minus 117 to the over. We're at 9 now, minus 104 to the over. So interesting. And as for that total, by the way, in that last game, our friends at Bet Online opened this up at a 7, minus 112 to the under. It went up to minus 115 to the 7 to the over, and it's plummeted right back down to 6.5. It's a little worrisome for me. Bookmaker, same thing here, 7. and is up to it got down to a 6.5. I honestly should stay off, but I think that these bullpens are going to be gassed, and I will trust my cap here, and I'll trust my cap here to stay off. I don't trust Ryan Weathers. Well, I don't trust Ryan Weathers to begin with. I don't trust Ryan Weathers against the Dodgers. But if, maybe he pitches well here today, I don't know. I would rather him look really bad here and then his next start probably back him. But I think J-Dub's probably right. How much do the Dodgers care about this game? They're playing out the string to get to the get to the playoffs. Sure, I'm sure they're a little, worried, concerned. They care a little bit about having the best record in baseball for home field throughout the playoffs. Phillies are 91-60. The Dodgers are 89-62. So I don't know if they'll even get that, but I agree. I just don't think they care, and I don't trust Ryan Weathers, so I stayed off here. So we'll keep it rolling to Minnesota Twins, Cleveland Guardians, Bailey Ober, Tanner Bybee. Great pitching matchup here. This is a pitching matchup for baseball cappers here, I'll tell you that. Starting with the market here again, 68% of the bets, 74% of the money on the Guardians. That's kind of surprising. I thought this would be a little more even. Opened up at -118. Has dropped down a little bit at BetOnline, down to -114 here. I'm going to give my money line thing a refresh here, just in case here, by the way. So money line here, we have gone, -114 here to -118 there. So not much movement, but it has gone down. Bookmaker and Heritage. Let's check Bookmaker, and I've been checking them as well, just to double check BetOnline's, line movement to see if it's just BetOnline moving it this way or other books. I prefer it be other books as well. -115, and it is now down to -111. And Bookmaker, I should say. Again, that Twins are semi-interesting to me. I know the Twins have been. The Twins have single-handedly kept the whole American League interesting, and I'm sure Major League Baseball appreciates them for doing so. They've been pretty bad in this last 2 weeks, and they've, like I said, they put the Tigers right back in the race. Seattle's not completely dead, and the Red Sox are because they suck balls. But I do think the Minnesota Twins will just go ahead and claim this last spot in the wild card. And this is a tough game. And we all know that this AL Central is really, really tight. Well, it's not really, really tight in this division, but all three of these teams, Royals, Guardians, and Twins, I think all are pretty similar to each other. And if they all played each other, I think they'll all have like a 500 record against each other. And so I don't know. I stay off here. I lean Guardians, I lean Twins. I like Bailey Ober, but I've not gotten pushed in one direction by the market here. I'd love for the market to show more vulnerability on the Guardians here. So maybe I'll wait until later in the show and see if we have, I'll look right now, by the way, Guardians on my book, -114. If we can get, if it's down to -105 each way, then I probably move on the Twins. But as of now, I won't move on anything. Market in this game, I see Aubrey Travis in the chat. Nice to see you. He took the under in this game. 85% of the bets, 82% of the money on the over. So that's a good sign for you, Aubrey. I'm not going to lie. 7.5, now down to a 7 here. Aubrey, I might have to join you here. Again, I don't love these angles. It really worked out well for me in the first, month and a half of the season. Then it sent me down a pit of despair, and all the money on the over and half run moves down to the under. It still goes over. I still went over for a long time, but I'm feeling like, the weather's changing across the country. Balls aren't flying out as much. And this is going to be a playoff kind of feel. These teams, again, they need the Twins need all the games they can get. The Guardians are up 5 games. Because the other team started shitting the bed on themselves. But I do like an under here, Aubrey Travis. I might have to join you here. Minnesota, Cleveland under here. I want to see what you guys have to say in the chat, obviously, as well. So let's go look coin. I agree. Great pitching matchup here. I have to, J-Dub saying I have to see the Cleveland lineup to determine the win. BJ likes Dodgers money line and run line. Nice to see you, BJ. I see Bitch J as well for a second there. BJ, Jesus, that's a horrible nickname. A wager detective, by the way, saying he'll have a play on the Cubs game. Follow him on Twitter. Good luck to you, wager detective, my man. So under in this game is definitely going to be on my card, I think, here as well. So Aubrey, let's ride together here. Under 7 minus 105 for me and our friends at Bet Online. Okay, moving on to the Red Sox game. We took the under in this game. The Red Sox bullpen implodes. Well, not really. It was more like Nick Pivetta just having a shit start. So they kind of blew up on them. 8 runs. This is another similar spot. Like it's the Rays offense. Do I really trust them to go 8 runs here again? But I'm kind of surprised to see Tanner Houck pitching. I'm not going to lie. He was pushed back, hit a dead arm. And I thought, you know what? He's pitched okay this year. Well, he's pitched well, I should say. First year as a starter, shut him down. But he's pitching again. So I'm a little surprised. Probably good enough to, well, I would say probably, definitely feels good enough to start if they're throwing him here again because he's going to be a big part for the Red Sox going forward. And Ryan Pepiot on the other side is a quality arm that the Dodgers traded to the Rays. And if the Rays want you, it's typically for a reason. And I know that I trust the Rays when it comes to pitching development. The one issue, if I wanted to back an under or Ryan Pepiot here, 115 innings pitched this year, double the most amount of innings pitched he's had in the majors so far. His last few appearances, 2 innings, 2 earned runs at Cleveland, 5 1/3, 6 hits, 1 earned run against Baltimore, 3 innings, 3 earned runs against the Padres, 6 innings, 5 runs, 2 of them earned against Seattle. So it's kind of been up and down. Again, I would guess there's a little bit of fatigue factor in here for Pepiot. Probably the Rays wanting to keep him a little healthy. So could I see him going more than 6 innings today? I'd be a little surprised. But the bullpen, let's talk about them because obviously yesterday was a higher scoring game and I want to see who was used. Really not anyone. Garrett Clevenger threw 20 and Kevin Kelly threw 10 pitches yesterday. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all if it's, 4 innings and then they throw the bullpen out there, and the bullpen has been solid all year for the Rays. Well, not all year, but in the second half of the year for the Rays, I could see it. And for the Red Sox, it's just they're gassed. This bullpen is just tired. And I know you're going to see Luis Guerrero, Bailey Horn, Greg Weissert, and Zach Penrod and Justin Slayton out there, but I just think it's, Bailey Horn and Penrod and Luis Guerrero are young relievers. So I'm sure they'll have, the energy and the vigor to go, but they're still young relievers that are figuring it out. Winkowski isn't going to pitch today. And that leaves us with Weissert, who's okay, and Justin Slayton, who's okay. So I'm ultimately not going to move on this game. I want to look at the markets here, and maybe it'll push me one way or the other. 63% of the bets and 53% of the money on the Rays. Wow, that's a little surprising here. Minus 115 down to a minus 110 at Bet Online. And 89% of the bets, 93% of the money on the over in this game. And we've gone from 8. It was already juiced to the under, but we're down to a 7.5 now. So I'm not going to move on it. I totally understand if you're moving on the under here, but I don't trust Tanner Houck, the dead arm, etc. So no action here for me. Thank you, Wager Detective, for the $5 dono, my guy. No problem. Give him a follow at Wager Detective. I'll give you a follow today, my man. I'm sure you follow me. I'm very bad at that, so I'd love to see what you're putting out there. Good luck, my man. Nasty Nate likes the Red Sox and the over. Red Sox smash here. I kind of agree with you there. And good luck, my man. Good luck. I hope you have a good day, Wager Detective. And Nutflush is right. We'd love for you to become a member of the channel here. Okay. Next. Nationals, Mets. I think I've watched all the Mets games now. It's quite funny how often I'm watching the Mets because I want them to win because of the Braves. We know this. They crushed Mitchell Parker yesterday, and I thought, maybe those lefty numbers are going to be inflated. No Lindor. No, they're just all good at hitting lefties. They're just the whole lineup is good against lefties. And the Mets are pretty fortunate right now that they're facing the Nationals, who have a shitload of lefties in their rotation. So I kind of think after watching yesterday that facing a lefty for the Mets without Lindor is perfect because they already hit him well, and they don't really need Lindor to hit lefties well. So I don't know. I kind of learned that from yesterday. I'm going to take that forward. I'm not going to back him here today. I don't want to back DJ Hertz either. Of all the Mets pitchers I've seen, the Nats pitchers, excuse me, I've seen. He's just not my favorite, so I stay off. But a 7 total here is pretty surprising. We did go down from a 7.5 to that 7. I'm very interested to see what the market has to say about this one. 82% of the bets, 75% of the money on the over. I mean, again, I feel like I'm in the same scenario as yesterday. This just moved as well down from a 7.5 to a 7 at Bet Online. Bookmaker here. And yes, that was 7.5 to a 7 here. I clicked on the wrong game for a second there. Same thing with Bookmaker. They went from 7.5 to 7. So I completely understand if anyone's on the under in this game. I just do not want to back. I just don't want to, fade because you're technically pitching or you're hoping that DJ Hertz pitches well here against the Mets. I don't want to fade the Mets against a lefty here. So I'm staying off this game. I'm very interested to see how they do here. But gun to head, you give me one bet and force me to play this game, probably would be an under here. Sharpie, thanks for dropping this in here as well. A half unit on the under 3.5 strikeouts for Austin Gomber. Good luck, my guy Sharpie there as well. MMA Locker Room in the chat. The king of the juiced touchdown prop. It takes 2 seconds to look down and click this bet prop. Nice to see you in the locker room, Mills. We have Detroit, Kansas City Royals in the chat here. Tariq Skubal, Alec Marsh here. And Skubal's got the Cy Young locked up already. So does Chris Sale. But I was a little surprised to see a minus 130. I thought it would be a little higher with Alec Marsh. And we'll start right there with that line movement on the money line here. It was minus 140. It's down to minus 129 at Bet Online. And let's see where the market resides. 34% of the bets on the Royals, but big sharp money on the Royals. 86% of the money on the Royals in this game. Man, does it seem like the Royals are indeed live in this game. Kansas City Royals against lefties in the last 18 days. 47 weighted runs created plus. Horrific. Full season, if you want to convince yourself here, 20th, 93 weighted runs created plus. Man, the Royals definitely feel like the side here. I agree wholeheartedly. I think that the Royals are the side here. Sharpie, great note here. I was kind of feeling the same thing. He's already got the Cy Young locked up. I mean, obviously, the Tigers are in this playoff hunt right now, but I still think, like Sharpie's saying here, it's Skubal's health over everything. He's not going to go past 90 pitches. If the inning ends at 82 or up, he's done. So, and this is the team that sold at the trade deadline. So if they make the playoffs, kind of like a cherry on top, like who cares? But I still think they're going to baby Tariq Skubal here. He's going to win the Cy Young. So, yeah, I like the Royals here. Full game. Well, make them get Skubal out of the lineup and hope that the Tigers bullpen implodes on you. Now, Tigers bullpen has been solid. It's very much part of the reason why they're in this playoff race. But it's gassed. Tyler Holton threw a shitload yesterday. He's not going. Jason Foley has thrown 3 consecutive days. He's not going to go. Bo Brisky has thrown 3 of the last 4 days. Hannafy threw 31 on Monday. And that leaves us Shelby Miller, who threw 19 yesterday. KBO Kenta Maeda, who definitely might piggyback off of Tariq Skubal here. And Gunther here is doing 16 yesterday or the day before. So, yeah, and shout out to you, Nut Flush, on that Mize call yesterday. It was weird. You're right about that. And I think this is a fishy line here for the Detroit today. So I am going to move on the Kansas City Royals live here. So, or not live, but Kansas City Royals move on them on screen. Kansas City Royals money line. And I've got, let me double check here. This is the non-sexy parts about betting things live on air. Plus 119 for me on Kansas City Royals full game money line. There. Nice to see you, Clark Edge. No Jimmy today. Just will tell you now. No Jimmy for the rest of the football season on Wednesdays. Thursday and Friday, Jimmy will not be here as well. So we'll be betting with Bouquett, myself. We'll have some rotating guests as well. We'll have guests on this show, so don't you worry about that, Clark Edge. But yes, so no Jimmy for the rest of the week. He is in a wedding in Hawaii, and hopefully we'll get a video or two from him at some point throughout the week, but I'm sure he's flying as we speak right now. All right, so let's keep rolling here to our next game, and this one is where our special guest joins us here. We appreciate him for joining us here. He's joining us for a best bet here today and then breaking down the full card with us on Friday. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. You know him. You love him. He's on the tailgates every Saturday morning, hosting, breaking down all the college football action before the college football live streams right after my friend and yours, Mr. Dabby Cab joins the program. Hello, Dabby. How are you?
Man, I'm good. And you know who else is good? I don't know if he wants to show us. He'll be all right. Shout out to my dude, Justin, right here on Monday. Let me hit that pay button. And pay. Boom. It's that easy. All you had to do was tune into Medicaid Monday, and you could have won that money I just sent to Justin. So next Monday, make sure you guys tune in. Shout out to Justin for always supporting and being there, man.
Yes. Shout out to Justin. Justin winning the $25 horse race on Monday. So shout out to you, Justin. It was nice to see that. So congratulations, Justin. Dabby, how has your week been? How's the football going? I know you made some bets yesterday.
Man, I don't like to come up here and yesterday was the first losing day I had since last Wednesday, but I don't like to talk about, how things are going, but I can just give a few numbers. I ran some analytics on my bets. Last 110 days, I'm up 22 units in MLB. On the season, I'm up 7. So, there was a little bit of a struggle there in the middle. But for the last 110 days, I'm up 22 units in MLB. So we'll keep that thing rolling.
I understand that. Nasty Nate, by the way, registered in the poker tournament. Tomorrow it is happening. I was going to say tonight. Tomorrow it's going to be a whole lot of fun, everyone. I'll keep reminding everyone. And I can confirm, this is one of those scenarios where we need Pub Sports Radio people to show out, or else Bet Online will tell us to fuck right off for these poker tournaments ever again. So we need you guys. We want poker nights. I want more poker nights. And the way we get more poker nights is to show Bet Online that we can get people to come on their platform and play some fucking poker. So come on, guys. The water is fine. Promo code PSR ticket. I will repost the link to the tweet that kind of shows everyone how to do it. But please join us this Friday or this Thursday and next Thursday for the poker tournaments. And shout out to you, Nasty Nate. Thank you so much for joining here. All right, Dabby. I cannot wait to talk about this game. I'm excited to hear what your bet is because we have 2 great pitchers going up here. Freddie Peralta, Aaron Nola. Definitely could be a playoff preview here for sure. Coin says Detroit feels like a trap spot like Philly yesterday. A sharp trap. That, you know what? Definitely, maybe. Who knows? Odds bunch here saying waiting on lineups, but looking hard at 7+ for Peralta. He should be 6+ minus 110 yet. What the books are seeing, I've got him for 7 on a bad day. And by the way, it's not been the best for Nola when they put his outs at 17.5 like they do here today. I was on Brewers in the under yesterday. We cashed one of them. I kind of want to go right back to the well here, Dabby. I'm not going to lie. Market in this game. I'll give it and then pass it off to you here. Sharp action on the Phillies. 39% of the bets, 66% of the money on the Phillies here. And we've got very limited line movement, minus 115 opener for Freddie Peralta, up to mound, minus 118. Same thing at our friends at Bookmaker as well. Except they actually moved it. They had it opened at minus 120, and they went down to minus 119. So that's very interesting. And Heritage opened up at minus 113, up to minus 118 there as well. Interesting. And for the total, 73% of the bets, 82% of the money on the over in this game. And we have a total that has not moved. 7.5 minus 110 each way the entire time. Did climb up to 8 actually at one point and came right back down. Interesting. Cab, what do you think?
My bet is not on a side or a total, so I'll be a little quick with it. I want to give some analysis though, because sometimes that's what people are looking for. These two pitchers right here are the type of pitchers that I like late in the season, okay? We talk about, people getting up there in innings when we're talking about younger pitchers and, now at the end of the season, we're going to stay away from this guy or that guy. Well, these two have been there and done that, right? I look at them as, a little bit above average middle season type guys. But at the end of the season, these are the type of guys that I want to get behind. So personally, I wouldn't be really excited about taking the over here. I'd probably look under or I'd pass. I'd give the edge to Peralta. If gun to head, if you're asking me who to choose between the two, I'd give the edge to Peralta. So I guess I kind of lean Brewers here. But again, the total and the side on this game are tough. My bet's just in a prop, okay? And this is a prop I gave out on Medicate Monday. Shout out to the Wake Up and Get Money play. We cashed it. That's 7 out of the last 8 we've cashed. I took Brandon Marsh to get a hit, okay? Right now, Brandon Marsh is, you can get him at minus 115 just to get a hit. He's gotten a hit in 18 of his last 22 baseball games, and you're giving me minus 115 for him to get a hit. He's only got 2 at-bats against Peralta. Doesn't have a hit in those 2, but that's not a big enough sample size for me to worry about. I'm going to say it again. The dude's tearing the cover off the baseball. He was down to 239 as a batting average. He's up into the mid-250s right now. He's just hitting the ball really well. He's showing up at big times, and you're going to give me minus 115 just to get a hit? I struggled with this card today, Jose. I really did. No way I was going to take Alvarez against Cease. He's like 2 for 13 with 8 strikeouts against him. There was just a lot of low totals. I feel like this should be a card for you to load up on unders, if I'm being honest, because I looked through this card and I just didn't like it. But I love this bet. Brandon Marsh to get a hit at minus 115.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I looked at the unders hard in this game. I mean, the only over I've looked at is the lowest total, which is kind of funny, but we'll see how that works. I agree with you guys again. I think this is another dead under game. I want to bet the under in this game yet again. I find it interesting that this line has not moved at all, with 73% of the bets, 82% of the money on the over, and it's just, even when it did go up to an 8 at Bet Online, it comes right back down. So under, I think, will be a move on this game for me officially here. Cab, you like Jake Marsh? Cab, you should try to do the whole Jake
Brandon Marsh. You don't know his name?
Jake Marsh.
I don't like
Brandon
it. I
Marsh.
bet it. The fuck? I'm not up here giving likes out. I bet Brandon Marsh to get a hit. Minus 115.
Bet Brandon Marsh. I don't know why I said Jake. Brandon Marsh there for a hit. I was thinking you should do the Brandon Marsh look for the playoffs. Really get your hair long and then just be always wet. Just always wet during. Yeah.
Somebody said he puts Gatorade on it or something like that. That's fucking nasty.
That would be horrifying. That would be truly disgusting. Imagine just being in the outfield sticky.
Right, I could be wrong. This is obviously I didn't fact check it, but I read that he put Gatorade or Powerade on it. That's how he kept it looking like that.
Nah, that is a disgusting human being, but He's going to make us money or make you money tonight. I wish you luck.
Us,
Dabby
you can bet him
Cab.
too.
I could. I definitely could. But I'm not going to. But I definitely could. It would just be a pain in the ass here as well. By the way, Marsh is one of 2 guys I have tough to strike out today. If that means anything, it does. Sharpie.
Hey, last time he said that about the Rangers game, we were talking about low cash, so I'll take it for sure.
Exactly. So I remember that as well. So that's good money there. I like the under in this game. Dabby Cab, not Jake, Brandon Marsh to get a hit. What was the odds again there?
-115.
All right, Marsh. I forgot that I need to be writing these down. Marsh hit -115 for old Dabby Cab. Dabby, thank you so much. I appreciate you for joining me here. Do you have any other best bets on the card here? Yeah, there's only a little card left, but I just wanted to ask.
I have not made any other bets today, and I don't give out anything just to give it out. But if you need me to cap, like I'm here, and I'm telling you, if I was sitting through this card, I would have made other bets. But for right now, that's the only bet that I've pulled the trigger on.
Oh, no worries. No worry, Dabby Cab. We're almost at the end of our rope here, so no worries. We have college football about to start here. We have Wine and Connor Mack joining us for college football. It will be very fun to see. And you gave us some college football looks yesterday as well. If you missed it, Cab, could you quickly just give the people a little amuse-bouche of what you gave out yesterday?
We took Tennessee. You can go at FanDuel, you can get that -6.5 at -122. That's what I took. I do not know if that number's still there. It was there yesterday. It's pretty much 7 everywhere for Tennessee, but like I said, FanDuel had a -122 yesterday, or you could just buy a half a point off that 7. And then I took Arkansas in the first half. I love the way Petrino comes out. I love the offense early. I don't trust Arkansas for a full 4 quarters, but for the first half, I got them. So Arkansas +1.5 first half, Tennessee -6.5 full game.
Okay, beautiful. And I'm probably going to be with you with Tennessee. I need to check out the market and shit, but I'll check that closer to game time. But if Tennessee doesn't beat the dog shit out of this team, I'm going to be pissed off. I'm just going to be angry.
Tennessee should be the biggest favorite this weekend. I would think. I don't know. That's just an assumption. I would think that the public absolutely loves Tennessee, and I touched on that yesterday. I don't care. Okay, sometimes, and especially in college sports, sometimes the market just. I mean, what are they going to do? Give you like a fucking 12.5 on Tennessee? They're against Oklahoma. They're not going to do that. So 7.5 is where the number should be. I think people flood Tennessee, and I think Tennessee still covers.
It's going to be a fun game, and I cannot wait. Cab, I'm on the Tennessee bandwagon. My brother lives in Knoxville, so it'd be cool if they were good here. That being said, I already can see the world where Oklahoma State and Tennessee play in the college football playoff, and I have to turn on Tennessee. It'll be quite fun to do that. So
Tennessee would beat the shit out of Oklahoma State.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. If it's in Neyland Stadium, I'd probably tend to agree with you there, but we'll see. We'll see. But Cap, thank you so much. I'll see you. I'm running out of days. I don't know what the fuck day it is today. I'll see you Friday, capping the entire baseball card with me. It'll be a whole lot of fun, and of course, the tailgate Saturday. I'll be on the first or second half of the college football live stream. Which, have we decided a game yet? I don't know if we had decided a game yet.
No, whatever the best game is at 11 o'clock.
Yes, Cab, send me the best game for 11 o'clock, and I will make the graphic, and that will be the game for this week. I'll be there. It'll be a whole lot of fun. And don't forget, Medicaid Monday, every Monday. Cab, I mean, your record on Medicaid Monday is ridiculous. He's like 27-2 in his last 4 shows here.
It's the reason why I'm having a good season in MLB. I can tell you that. Listen, I think, nope, that's at 2:30. Never mind. I was about to say USC, Michigan. Shit, that's a good game, but that's at 2:30. I'm going to have to look through them. If anybody in the chat knows what the best game is early, let me know. Probably Illinois, Nebraska. Wait, no, what? That's Friday. Fuck. That's a great game. Dude, what are we going to do? Kansas, West Virginia? What the fuck is this? Florida, Mississippi State? I'm not doing these games. Ohio, Kentucky? Oh, my God. There's got to be
Cab has a lot of decisions to make here in the next few hours here. So we wish you luck, Dabby Cab. Follow him on Twitter. And by the way, it's
there it is.
NC Wine Time saying NC State Clemson, probably a good game there. Maybe we can go
It's an
down to
18
Dabo
point
Sweeney.
spread, though. It's an 18-point spread.
Oh, that's because NC State quarterback's not playing, right?
Yeah, Grayson McCall's out.
Yeah. Well, Dabo's got that drip. We all know that. So shout out to you,
All right.
Cab. I'll see you very soon, my man.
Yep.
All right. Dabby Cab, thank you very much. We move on to our last 3 baseball games of the card. And then Connor is going to join us for the first half of our lovely college football breakdown. So I'm texting him now, last 3 MLB games, and let us roll. All right. The worst game of the card, even though we've talked about a lot of bad ones, is this one. Jake Woodford and Sonny Gray. I just cannot get into the Jake Woodford business. Now, the one point of intrigue here is Jake Woodford, former St. Louis Cardinal, going up against his former squad here. I think they released him, just sent him out into the fucking wilderness, and the Pirates take him. So sure, a little revenge angle. I could see. I don't hate that at all. But do I want to back an 0-6 Jake Woodford? 3 innings, 7 hits, 8 runs, 7 earned. I kind of don't. 4 innings, 9 hits, 7 runs, 5 of them earned against Seattle. Had a good start against the Padres, but this was in early August. His last major league start was in mid-August. His minor league starts have been fine. 4 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs. 2 innings, 3 earned runs. 3 innings shutout. But just not something I want to try to back here. Not even a little bit. Market in this game before we move on. 86% of the bets, 94% of the money on the Cardinals here. Minus 192 has gone to minus 195. I probably would expect a little more movement there. And 66% of the bets, 73% of the money on the over. And has not been much movement. 5 cents of movement down to the under. And again, I could see Jake Woodford having a good start here against his former squad. All the motivation in the world. But do I really want to try to back that? Not really. Not really. So no action here for me there. Texas, Toronto. I forgot who the pitcher was. Can some baseball ball knower tell me who the pitcher was? Is Dave Stieb the pitcher that kept taking no-hitters to the 9th inning and kept getting them blown? I heard that on a podcast recently, and Bowden Francis has become our modern-day Dave Stieb, who just keeps blowing these no-hitters and such, but he pitches his fucking ass off, and then that 9th inning comes, and he gives up a home run and blows it. But I don't know. I'm really impressed by Bowden in his few starts here. I don't want to continue backing it, if I'm going to be honest. I think there was a little fatigue in that last start. His velocity was down. He still pitched really well. Could I see him having another great start here? Of course. Rangers offense has not become that fearsome. No Corey Seager. Makes it a lot easier to pitch around these guys. Against righties, the Texas Rangers, admittedly, 116 weighted runs created plus in the last 18 days. So it's not going to be an easy matchup. Cody Bradford is kind of, whenever I see Cody Bradford, I just think of Raggins, because that should probably be Cole Raggins. And the Blue Jays against lefties, who I should be looking for. Blue Jays against lefties, 63 weighted runs created plus. Just those numbers alone make me feel like I want to back the Rangers. 75% of the bets on the Rangers, but 60% of the money on the Blue Jays. So, sharp action, believing in Bowden Francis here. And wow, this line has gone from minus 123 Texas Rangers now down to minus 112. So the market reacting to those big bets, showing some fear. Okay. I like I said, I lean Texas Rangers. The market will keep me off. I should probably get in the habit of doing a complete 180 flip and going to the Blue Jays here, but I'm good for today. Like I said, I'm trying to keep the volume a little more down here. And, Yeah, sorry. I'm texting Connor real quick. My bad. You can go first. That will be great. If not, I'll ask him. Sorry. All right. Apologies there. I had to send a text message, taking some brain power to compose a text message there. My bad. But let's get back to the market. 88% of the bets, 82% of the money on the over here. And this has not moved at all. Minus 114 opener at Bet Online, now down minus 113. So barely any movement. At one point, this was a 7.5 early in the morning, 4 a.m. to about 8:30. And then at 9:30, this got back up to 8. So a little bit of some fishy line and market moves in this game. I'll end up staying off of it, but I lean, on the market. X's and O's say Texas Rangers. Market says Toronto Blue Jays. So it's interesting. But I don't know. I've ultimately had to go back and forth, and ultimately has me to stay off. So last game on our card here. Yankees, Seattle Mariners. I don't know. I saw my guy Troy Torrance tweet out Yankees 2 units last night, and I was like, damn, I should have moved on them, or I should move on them, and I didn't, and they cashed very easily. Shout out to you, Troy. And that was me when I was down those 3 under bets, and I was like, oh my God, I feel like I was trying to chase and get that money, but I don't know. I again here see the Yankees at a pretty appealing price. Nestor Cortez on the bump after complaining about the rotation, et cetera, et cetera. We all went through the whole thing already. Let's first off start with how the Seattle Mariners are doing against lefties, because they're crushing righties right now. Lefties in September, 104 weighted runs created plus, 127 plate appearances. I mean, admittedly, still, I do not trust this Seattle Mariners squad. And Nestor, it's the classic pitching for your spot in the rotation, / playoff roster spot, if I could get that out of my fucking mouth. So he's pitched well. And I think I tend to back him here, honestly. I've talked a lot of shit about our guy, Nestor. But I generally trust Nestor, and I would back him here. And again, a spot where I think he knows that he has to continue pitching well to keep his job and keep his roster spot in the playoffs, since we're getting there. Bryce Miller, fine, good, but I don't know. I just ultimately have nothing too firm on this game. 79% of the bets, 95% of the money on the Yankees. We've gone from minus 109 to minus 118 apparently. So all that movement, just climbing that Yankees line here. I think the Yankees are very much the side here, but I don't want to back that big public side here. So I'm off here. So no action for me on this game. I lean Yankees and I lean under yet again. But no action here. So I will recap these baseball plays real quick. First, I need the time here. Let's talk about Ron Crawford. Spreadsheet dog yesterday was Houston. Today, spreadsheet dog play of the day, San Francisco Giants. Shout out to you, Ronnie Crawford. Beautiful, Ron. Shout out to you. And we'll mention it again. Stacks play of the day. H. Goodman. I fucking don't have it starred, so I can't bring it up. So, Justin, if you could put it up. H. Goodman. And I think it's Harrison Goodman plus 1.5 bases. Shout out to you, my guy, Stacks.
Stacks, 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 stacks.
Nice work there, Justin. Good luck, Hunter Goodman. Thank you. I don't know why I got Harry and Harrison there. Hunter Goodman there. Thank you, my guy. Spreadsheet dog record. I believe Ron keeps the track of it. So Ron, let us know. But I know it's been super profitable this year as well. So shout out to you, Ron. My plays of the day, and again, of course, drop your plays in here as well. Let me know what you're on. We've got Kong's dropping his pub drops in here with Syracuse and Made in England. So just let me know what you guys are on in the chat here after a long as well. No, Saturate, I'm not microdosing today. I wish I was. That would definitely make this day and this show a lot more interesting. If you want to hear a fun fact, Saturate, the last time I did those magical mushrooms, I took it was just a lot too much for too soon for me. And I just had like a mini freak out, and then I had to take a lovely shower, and that shower was vibrating, and it was honestly a great time, but it was very funny to have the whole thing happen to me, Satry, but it's nice to see you. And Kelly, you're welcome, Kelly. Hunter Harrison, everyone knows is H. Goodman. So we're good there, Kelly, but it's nice to see you, Kelly, as well. All right, so my action here, I just finalized the last odds here. I've got 5 plays today. Giants, Orioles under 8 minus 120. I've got the Houston Astros, San Diego Padres over 6.5. And I want to quickly go back and look at that line real quick. I would love to see what that market has done here. Like I said, it went from a 7 to a 6.5, but I just refuse to believe that a full game total at 6.5 can be done here. So I just don't believe it here. So I don't believe it. And by the way, I don't love fading the market. Like I said, I guess that's my least favorite play in the chat, or in the chat, in my cards so far, but I'll roll with it. So there's that. I have the Minnesota Cleveland under 7 at minus 105. And by the way, Skunt bag play of the day. Giants plus 1.5 in the under 8. That's a good work there. That's good work there. I like that work there a lot. You go for Connor. Sorry, I'm sending another text message if you guys can't tell. Yeah. Behind it seems. All right. Beautiful. Text message sent. Beautiful things are happening. And Tom, I know you need one of those vibrating showers, Tom. I know you do. It was an interesting time, let me tell you that. So thank you to Skuntbag, by the way, for dropping both of his plays. I appreciate that. I was in the middle of recapping my play. Sorry, I'm losing track here. I'm trying to send text messages, recap my plays. So let me get back on track here. So Minnesota, Cleveland under 7 minus 105. We talked about the over 6.5. Royals full game money line plus 119. And Philadelphia, Milwaukee Brewers under 7.5 minus 105 here. Again, there was a couple plays I was close to making. I was decently close to taking like the Cubs team total. I'm challenging Brady Brasso to do it again. Kind of wanted to take again like a Diamondbacks minus 1.5. I think it's pretty shocking to see that the lefties back to back and the line's kind of the same. And I think Eddie's going to be a bet on pitcher for the rest of the year. So I find that one interesting. Marlins and the over was semi-appealing as well. So I've got no action for me here so far. Or I should say, I've got no action for me here so far when it comes to those bets. And I don't think I'm going to add the under in the Pittsburgh Cardinals game, Jake Woodford revenge game. would be interesting to bet on, but not anything for me. AOD asking about Champions Leagues bets. We've had a few be dropped in the chat here, and I found a lot of them to be interesting. We've had Tom Leach, the Asian handicap on corners. We did cast yesterday on Liverpool money line. That was a homer bet, but we had a few people put that in there and make me feel a little better about it here. I'm going to quickly scroll through. I don't love taking, minus like 145s, minus 130s in the Champions League. I'm not going to lie. But I don't know how you don't take like Arsenal to win minus 120. Again, I understand 90 minutes, you have the draw, et cetera, but I don't think Atalanta can hang with Arsenal. And Champions League is going to mean a lot to them this year because they're probably not going to win the league again. So they need to show something. So, and it's, still early, super early, so I can easily see that. Another one that is semi-interesting, Bayer Leverkusen minus 145 against Feyenoord. Feyenoord lost their manager, goes to Liverpool. Now they're in the Champions League. Bayer Leverkusen, one of the best managers in the world with Xavi. I think minus 145 is pretty cheap. But again, I don't love laying minus 145 when it comes to those prices. And a little surprising to see plus money on Dortmund against Bruges. So maybe I lean towards a draw there as well. And then we've talked about kind of the marquee matchup of the day, City versus Inter here. City is minus 215 to win, and minus 1 is minus 135. So that's crazy to see. So I that's the game that I'd be semi-interested in a draw. But Manchester City is just kind of a dominating force. Fernando Mendoza likes the over 3.5 in the PSG game. If I had to limit or to make one bet on this card, I guess I'm just gonna parlay Arsenal and Bayer Leverkusen, or just take one of them. But I just don't love laying. I don't love laying juice. And I don't love laying juice with those 90-minute lines. So if it was like draw no bet, I'd be more interested in that. Maybe you could parlay those together, but no action on those big games. And don't be afraid to take overs in like Monaco, Barcelona here. It's 3 and 3.5. So it's a little high, but I could see Barcelona scoring 2 and then giving up a bullshit goal and then having to come back and score. RB Salzburg, I find to be a very fascinating team. It's just a bunch of ex-Liverpool players and coaches. So I find that to just be interesting. Obviously Liverpool's former assistant coach, take a few of their young players. Totals at 1.5. Team totals 1.5. Plus 110. So RB Salzburg again there. Definitely would not hate as well. DC Capper, good note here. Cincinnati plus 130 for the dog of the day. Shout out to you, DC Capper. All right, well, that's lovely. And I cannot wait for that. One last quick reminder before we get into college football here. I tell you, Trisha, the Pata Sucia POD is comes in March when you come to Fiesta and you see a bunch of Fiesta Sucias rocking around with no feet or no sandals on. Trisha, that's the Pata Sucia play of the day. But bankroll, bet online, free poker tournament here tomorrow night, next week. Come show out for Pub Sports Radio. It's a big free roll, and we need somebody from Pub Sports Radio in that top 5. We need it bad. Those top 5 players get entered into a $400K tournament. Sounds like a whole lot of fun. Cannot wait. So I will keep reminding you guys of these things. All right, let's roll right into it. College football. I'm very excited to talk about these games coming up. We're talking a little former Pac-12 We're talking a little Big 10. We're talking a little Big 12. And I'm very excited to do it with this West Coaster, the one, the only, Wine Time Sports joining the program. Wine, it's nice to see you, my man. How are you doing?
Jose, my guy, good to be here, man. Good to see you. Coming off a first losing week of college football last week, so I'm ready to get this cash this week and give out some winners. I like these games this week. Honestly, this is probably my favorite card yet this year. I tagged you in the tweet on Monday, had all my plays posted, 8 of them. We're going to be talking about, I believe, 5 of them today. Talk about more of them on Friday. But I wanted to talk about the games today that we kind of can still take the lines on. Most of the lines have moved, but nothing too crazy. So I'm excited to talk about this.
Yes, I can't wait. As always, I'll keep telling people, follow Wine Time Sports on Twitter at Wine Time Sports. Get his plays. Great follow. Join us over there in the Twitter community. But let's get right after it here at Wine Time. I've been talking for a long ass time, and people want to hear the expertise that you have to spew. And I'm very excited about our first game here because it features my Syracuse Orange. Shout out to our guy Conk Clips in the chat. Gave me Syracuse to win the ACC at like plus 5,000 or some shit like that. It was a great time. I bet it. Quietly, I have bet Boston College as well to win the ACC, but we don't have to talk about that. But let's go Orange. It's going to be a great game here. -8 full game spread against the Cardinal. I will talk about the markets here, money splits, where the total and where the money line has gone, and our guy Wine Time Sports will deliver the goods here. So let us indeed start with the market here. We'll start with the spread. 87% of the bets and 89% of the money on the Cuse here. Oh no, that is not a good sign. And this total, or this market, I should say, for the spread has plummeted. Opened up at 9.5, and now we're down to 8.5. Oh no, that's not a good sign for the Cuse here. Wine, I don't love that. Let's talk about the total here real quick as well. Sharp big bets on the over. 38% of the bets, 65% of the money on the over in this game. This total has, and I need to pull totals up here real quick, so I'm excited too. But that, I'll tell you right now, Wine, that's a full line movement down on the spread. Does not make me feel good about my Orange this week. We went from a 58 to a 57.5 here. Sharp action on the over, so very interesting. Wine, please take it away. What are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, very interesting Friday night game. This is Stanford's second Friday night game only of their 3 games. Very interesting. Going on the road here to Syracuse, they've been filling this place up. You know, it's about 50,000 people, but it's a dome, so that place gets loud. They're rocking and rolling out there always. I talked about Syracuse 2 weeks ago with Jim on the show. When they played Georgia Tech at home, gave out Syracuse +3. We said they were going to win outright. They did very, very much so. Kyle McCord, man, this guy's looking very much locked in. We talked about him at Ohio State, man. He was 11-1 there. They forced him out of there. Goes to an ACC program that fits his style of play a little bit better, if you ask me. This is a pro-style offense. They've got the big boys up front to block for him. You can tell how comfortable he is in the pocket. This kid's got every tool to be really good at the next level, honestly. Love that move by Conk Clip in the beginning of the season for them to win the ACC. Personally, I didn't think that was going to happen, but after watching them these first couple weeks, they're looking good. And Kyle McCord, like I said, is locking in. Trust his offensive line over there. And it's kind of a breath of fresh air being over there at Syracuse. Not as much pressure over there like it was at Ohio State. You know, when they were 11-1, people were breathing over his neck for the job. Yeah, let's get to Stanford on the other side. I had them in week 1. We gave them out on Friday night. Jim tailed on it. You know, it was a close game, man. It was a game they probably shouldn't have covered, but it was also a game that they very much so could have won outright. Troy Taylor, the head coach, it's his second year there. He's turned around programs before. He's trying to do it here at Stanford. You know, it was a big game for them at home Friday night. Some of the fans showed out. It wasn't a sold-out crowd by any means, but Troy Taylor made some bonehead decisions on 3rd and 4th down, on 3rd and short and 4th and short. I know he's not going to make those decisions here in this ACC matchup, though. He looked really good in week 1 when they played Cal Poly. I'm sorry, week 2, Cal Poly. They beat him 41-7, give or take. It's not a good program, but they very much look comfortable. Ashton Daniels, he can take off and run with it. He can throw it. Completed most of his passes last week. He likes to be hit. He likes to run. He likes to be physical when he has the ball in his hand. He's very talented. And Stanford, they're not a team that goes out and hits the transfer portal a lot. They're very much so on the recruiting trail all the time. Troy Taylor has his guys in there kind of now year two, recruit a lot in the California area, which is a lot of the talent. Stanford's a hard school to get into. So it's a good school to be at for sure. But yeah, you look at the side in this one, man, it opened up at a -10, man. I was looking at this Sunday. I was looking at it again on Monday when I gave it out. I saw the amount of bets on Monday that were on Syracuse, and the line wasn't moving too much. And I think Stanford very much so can stay within 2 possessions of this game, or double digits. If not stay in this and maybe even win this one outright. Probably not win this one outright. It's in Syracuse. I do like Syracuse to win this game, but Stanford is going to be in this game from start to finish. They're going to be physical up front. They're never going to give up. That's the thing. Troy Taylor, his guys never give up. They're very much so always playing for him. This is a big ACC matchup for them. They want to get a W here. It's their conference opener. They're going to give them everything they got. So with that being said, I got it on Stanford +10. I see it down to a +8.5 with 13% of bets, 11% of money on them. Absolutely love it. You look at the amount of bets too, Jose. We look at these college football bets on Saturday. There's a lot of bets on these games, a lot, hundreds, sometimes in the 100K range. And this game doesn't have that many bets on it, but yet the line's moving on, even though everyone is hammering Syracuse right now, the sharper money is coming in very much on Stanford. So give me Stanford +10. I know it's probably 8.5 right now. I gave it on Twitter at 10. I think they're going to stay in this game the whole time. I don't think Troy Taylor is going to make the bonehead decisions on 3rd and 4th and short. And they're going to play physical and they're going to play hard the whole game. Give me Stanford.
Stanford, the Cardinal here. And what number did you get? Obviously, like you said, you tweeted these out earlier in the week. You tagged us, so that's all good money. You got 9, right?
I got 10.
10. Beautiful.
10.
Beautiful work there.
I got +10. You can get 9s at some places right now, a little juicier in the -115, -117 range. But, I got that +10 already. I still endorse the 9. If it gets down to an 8, I would stay away from that. But if you can get a 9 right now, I would still take the +9.
All right. Beautiful. +9 for our guy, Wine Time Sports. Great work there. And we roll on. So our next game, and Wine, there's one person in particular that's going to be watching this next game. It's our guy Saturated here. His Fighting Illini. Big win last week, taking down a ranked opponent. Now they find themselves ranked and 7.5-point underdogs going to Nebraska and Dylan Raiola. I am on record. I said when Nebraska and Colorado was playing, I said Dylan Raiola is a better quarterback than Shedeur Sanders. I'll say that right now, no problem. I think Shedeur is not very good. Nebraska rolls the shit out of them. You could say it's because Colorado has a horrible offensive line. Sure, whatever. I really think, maybe it's the Patrick Mahomes cosplay, but I really think Raiola's the real deal here. And he's got a great coach. Nebraska's still building. You're going to get at least 3 years of him. We'll see, transfer portal, et cetera, et cetera. But I generally trust Nebraska here. And at a 7.5-point favorite line, I think that tells the story. I love Saturated. I'm not even going to look at the comments right now because he's slandering my name, I'm sure. But it seems like Nebraska might roll here. Now, let's talk about the market here. 78% of the bets on Nebraska, on Illinois, but only 53% of the money on Illinois. So it's very interesting. You could say sharp, bigger bets on Nebraska. Sure. And, Kong mentioning that college football lines and MLB lines, the markets aren't the same. You're right about that, Kongs. No arguments there. But this went from -9 to -7.5 now. Man, again, very interesting. The sharp money, sharp big bets, it seems like, on Nebraska. And we went from a 9 to a 7.5 here. Now, you can tell me those aren't that key of numbers, sure, but that's a fascinating move there. Now let's move to the total and see where this is going here. 68% of the bets on the over in this game. 58 of the money on the on the under. So we'll do that again. 32% of the bets, 58% of the money on the under in this game. So sharp bets on the under. Very interesting to hear what you have to say. We did have a 2-point move down. What was it? A 44. Now we're at a 42.5 here in this game. Line, let me know what you think about this one.
Yeah, another game I gave out on Monday. Line kind of went definitely in the way I wanted to see. I see some 43s right now at minus 111. I am seeing Nebraska at 8.5 at some books right now too. So, but yeah. Anyways, we're gonna get to this game here, man. Nebraska starting the season off hot, man. They're fucking strong up front. They've got the big boys on the offensive line and defensive line. They're honestly deep everywhere you look. They bring in the freshman quarterback, the 5-star recruit. Kid looks comfortable out there, man. He's got every tool to be successful. He's got a really good offensive line out there. They've been rocking and rolling. Nebraska, what they want to do, they want to run the ball, though. They want to establish the run. That's what they always do. Also, they've got the running backs to do it. They've got a deep running back room here. And you look at defensively, they're allowing 1.6 yards per carry to opposing teams on the run game. Illinois, what do they like to do? They like to run the ball as well. And Nebraska likes to stop the run. So it's going to be tough for Illinois here in Nebraska. This is going to be a hostile environment in Lincoln, Nebraska. It's going to be a sold out crowd. I'm excited for this one. It's going to be a smash mouth type of football game. It's cool to see Illinois in the rankings now. Shout out to Saturade, man. We talked about that game a couple weeks ago when they won at home. It was just a big spot for them in that matchup. We really liked Illinois plus 5.5 in that one. They ended up getting them outright. I believe that was against Kansas. Correct me if I'm wrong. That was a good game, though. Illinois, though, they were giving up a lot of yards on the ground to the opposing running back in Kansas, who was Devin Neal. Don't get me wrong. Devin Neal is an NFL-type running back. This guy's going to be drafted in the 2nd or 3rd round next year. He runs hard. He's fast. He's got the NFL running back type of body. They couldn't stop him. And it was very tough. It's going to be tough for them to stop Nebraska as well in this spot. As I mentioned, too, both these teams like to play physical on both sides of the ball. They're going to play conservative. They're not going to ask Dylan Raiola to do too much here. They're going to have him hand off the ball a lot of the time here, use play action. Illinois here, they need to be more efficient when they run the ball. As I mentioned, because Nebraska is top 5 team against the run this season going into this year. I just think this is going to be a smash mouth type of game. We're in Lincoln, Nebraska. We see a low total in this one. It opened up at 44.5 on Sunday, went down to a 44 on Monday. I got in on that one because I don't think this is going to hit 40. I don't think this has a chance at hitting 40 in this hostile environment. I don't know if Illinois is going to be able to score 2 touchdowns in this one. And it's going to be up to Nebraska if they can score 20 in this one to get this dub. Give me the under 44 in this one. I see it's down to a 43 right now. I'm just really convinced that this game's going to go way under the total here. We're looking at the market as well. 36% of the bets, 56% of the money on this total. This is going to be a smash mouth type of game. This is Big Ten football right here. And both teams are going to run the ball. They're going to want to run the clock out. So give me the under.
Under for Wine Time Sports. I like that look. It makes a whole lot of sense. Line going down. I agree. I like the under look in this game, and hopefully the black shirts are rolling for Nebraska. And Saturated, good luck, my man. I do hope. I'm rooting for Illinois, and I will continue to say Illinois just to make you mad, Saturated, but I wish you all the luck in the world. Now, Wine Time. Let's get to the main event. Here. Once upon a time, Saturated Wine Time. Once upon a time used to write for SB Nation, specifically the Pac-12 website for SB Nation. So I used to cover the Pac-12, and I was a UCLA beat writer. Wine Time. Actually, there's your fun fact of the day. Shout out to my guy Josh Rosen.
Yes, sir.
The most prickly. And I'm not going to use the A word yet, but the most prickly fan base that I had dealt with was Utah. They care a lot about their football. I respect it, but they did not like when I called them the fake U, because they do their little U, and I'm like, oh, that's cute. They're obviously the fake U because Miami, blah blah blah. They didn't like that. And I've let that die. I've left Utah alone. They've been a great Pac-12 team. And now they're coming into the Thunderdome. Wine Time. Now they're coming into the Thunderdome. Now they come into Stillwater, Oklahoma, in what is now the biggest game on Oklahoma State's season without Bedlam. A huge game against Utah here. You could call it a Big 12 eliminator. I was surprised to see Utah favored on the road. Honestly, Oklahoma State has not looked good. And these are two really good coaches going at it here. I'm excited to see what Mike Gundy does. I've come a long way with Mike Gundy. I've come a very long way with Mike Gundy. At several points in my Oklahoma State fandom career, I've wanted him fired. And I'm now at the point where I'm just like, you know what? He's not going to get fired. He's college football Mike Tomlin. And this is what he does. This is what he does. He's going to look horrible. He's going to make his adjustments. He's going to play super conservatively. And at the end of the day, Oklahoma State is going to have 8, 9, 10 wins. And we're going to be in the mix. So I'm excited to watch this game, Wine Time. I think Oklahoma State wins this game. Let's talk about the market here. And I will continue calling Utah the fake U and potentially inflaming a bunch of Utah fans in our lovely comments here coming soon. For the total, we'll start there. 82% of the bets, 89% of the money on the over in this game. And we have this total yes, we have moved two full points up. 52 was the starter. We're at 54 now at our friends at Bet Online. It did get up to 54.5, came back down that half point. I keep wanting to say run, Wine Time. I've got my baseball brain on. I keep trying to say run, but I'm not going to do it. But 54 there for the total. And for the spread here, what I'm especially interested here, 2.5. Wow. This opened up Oklahoma State minus 2.5 on the 15th. And then just does that complete flip eventually. On the 16th, it flips. And now we're on the 18th here as the time of recording. Minus 2.5 Utah here. Wow. Very interesting here. Let's go to the spread. And let's see where the bet money or the bet percentage is here. And let's pass it over to Wine Time. 31% of the bets, 65% of the money on Utah. What a fascinating game this is about to be, Wine Time. Please take it away.
Oh man, I'm excited for this one, Jose. This is probably the most exciting game I'm looking forward to on this one. My TV will be watching this the entire game. You know what? I like both of these teams. You talk about both coaches, man. These guys have been with these programs for a very long time, very highly respected coaches that win games consistently. They continue to recruit the right players that want to play for them. They don't always lose a lot of guys to the transfer portal, especially Utah. Man, this Utah team, I think they opened up as a dog because there was a lot of question on if Cam Rising or, in fact, Zach Wilson's brother, Isaac Wilson, was going to be starting. Isaac Wilson played actually pretty good, last week against Utah State. Nothing to write home about. I'm not going to talk about him too much here, Jose. Going to talk about the seventh-year senior, though, Cam Rising, one of the guys who have a lot of respect for college football. Seventh-year senior, yeah.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Get a job.
Yeah, seventh-year senior. He's got a doctorate in the Kyle Whittingham system. This guy, he knows his system front and back. He sat out the entire sixth year last year to kind of be the offensive coordinator and be the guy on the sideline and, kind of translate everything to the quarterbacks from Kyle Whittingham because he understands him so well and they get along so well. Cam Rising, I was talking about a couple of people about this, and like he's just not the NFL quarterback. Like he's got to make improvements on his deep throw. Man, Cam Rising's not an NFL quarterback. He's so much a college quarterback. What does this guy do? He wins games, and he wins big games in hostile environments as well. This guy's played big-time football for a very long time. He doesn't give you the highlight throws. He very much dips and dunks, and they do what Kyle Whittingham likes to do best, run the ball, pound the ball. And they do it very efficiently because they have one of the better offensive lines in the Big 12 coming from the Pac-12. These guys are physical up front. We saw what they did at Utah State last week. They were absolutely dominant on that side of the ball. Utah's going to continue to play that kind of football. And like I said, I think they opened up as a dog because they didn't know if Cam Rising was going to play. Dorian Singer, the transfer receiver from USC, came out in a press conference this week, accidentally said that Cam will be playing this weekend, or at least said he's most likely going to play. Kyle Whittingham, I was at that UCLA at Utah game. Last year, we didn't know if Cam Rising was going to play. until about 5 minutes before the game. He doesn't like to announce anything. He likes to keep his stuff secret. Dorian Singer gave it away a little bit. So I do think Cam Rising's going to play. That's why we saw the line movement. This Utah team's going to play physical up front, as they mentioned. You look at Oklahoma State on the other side of the ball. They've got one of the better running backs in the country in Ollie Gordon. They haven't been able to get him quite going yet. He hasn't been getting as many touches. Oklahoma State's been throwing the ball a lot here. And I think what Utah's going to do, they're going to probably load the box, and they're going to want to stop Ollie Gordon at first and see what happens. They're going to leave their corners on islands with Oklahoma State's receivers, because I very much so that these guys I think they can keep these guys in check on that side. They're going to test Bowman's arm. Bowman's Is he a 6th or 7th year guy too?
He's a 6th-year senior. I'm obviously being a hypocrite just talking shit about Utah, but yes, he's an old fuck too.
They both very much have a lot of experience in college football. I want to see him play big-time defenses like a Utah defense. I think Utah's going to step up here. This game's going to be won in the trenches, and I think Utah's going to be able to win it in the trenches. And I think Cam Rising, if he is down by 3 points or one possession, you give him the ball with a couple minutes to go, he's going to march right down that field. It's not going to be pretty. It's going to be dip and dunk. He's going to take his time, but he doesn't make mistakes. Cam Rising doesn't make mistakes, and I think he's going to be healthy for this one. He could have played last week from what I heard, but they wanted to save him for this game. Give me Utah money line minus. I gave it either 125 or 130. Give me whatever it is right now, Jose. Give me the best number you have available. Utah's going to beat these guys. I'm going to stay away from the spread, because if this is a grind out type of game, they win by 1 or 2 points. I just think that they have the edge a little bit on the coaching side and on the quarterback side of Cam Rising plays. So give me Utah money line.
You're getting minus 130, so not too bad at all. And wine time, I'll make it interesting here. I'll give you the opportunity, wine time. Everyone wants it. People clamor for it when they get the opportunity to do it.
It's coming.
I will offer you a steak bet.
Everybody in the audience, now listen to me carefully, is being given a special package, and I don't want you to open it. Do not open it. Cameras are on you, so do not open until I tell you. All right, open your boxes. Open your boxes. 1, 2, 3.
You get a steak. 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 Everybody gets a steak.
So there you go, wine time. Steak bet on this game. Oh my God. If Zach Wilson's little brother played against Oklahoma State, I would.
We're in trouble. We're in trouble. My God. No, Utah will be in trouble. He's a freshman quarterback going up against an actually a pretty good defensive line over there in Oklahoma State. I forgot to mention they haven't been tested too much going up against these offensive lines, and they haven't actually been able to get too much pressure, which means I don't think they're going to be able to get past this Utah offensive line to get pressure on Cam Rising either. But Isaac Wilson, on the other hand, if he's the guy to go, my bet's placed no matter what. But I'm really hoping Cam Rising plays. Let's just say that.
No, that makes sense, and it's very funny. You know, I'm one of the many. I'm going to say many people in the world that have not one but 2 Zach Wilson jerseys. So it'd be a shame. It'd be a shame if we saw him. All right, that was a beautiful breakdown. Wine time. Let's roll on to I'm going to call it my favorite team now on the fucking board. Cal. I love it. Cal football's back, and I'm just saying this because of the memes. Their Twitter game is impeccable. They're bringing the woke culture to college football, as they say. Woke Campbell Stadium. Here they come. The Cal Bears, undefeated. I cannot wait for this game. Wine time sport. I am rooting so hard for these Cal Bears. I don't have a bet. I don't have no action on this game yet. I was shocked when making the graphics today that I saw Florida State favored in this game. I only say that because they're 0-2 and they stink, but, you know, I'm sure preseason this line was like 28, 21, something ridiculous here. And now you're only getting 2.5 here with Florida State, which is crazy to think about, and absolutely more crazy to think that these two teams have records that preseason, if you told me they were flipped, I definitely believe you. 78% of the bets, 69% of the money on Florida State. It seems like everyone just done. It's like, you know what? You've tricked us enough, Florida State, so we're sick of you. This line has gone from 3 to 2.5 here. It got down to 2 at one point. It actually got down to 1.5 at one point even, and has come back all the way up to Florida State minus 2.5. So that's very interesting there. For the total here, let's move there. I'm very interested again here to see what the woke culture of Cal can do here in Woke Campbell Stadium. 88% of the bets, 87% of the money on the over here in this game. I mean, if not now, wine time, when will Florida State get back in track? 45 was the opener. We're down to 44.5. I know I'm bought into the Cal hype. I love it. But all the money is on Florida or on Cal here. Public underdog. I don't love that. What do you have to say about this game? This is going to be a very fun game to watch.
Yeah, Jose, you mentioned, man, Justin Wilcox coming in these last couple of years and really turning this program around. These players very much playing for him. He's had a lot of guys actually leaving the transfer portal over the last couple of years. Actually has me surprised. A lot of talented players, but he keeps bringing talented players in, and he's recruiting at a good level right now. Berkeley when was the last time, Jose, that we saw him start 3-0? When was the last time we saw him start 4-0? It's been quite some time. I don't remember, but it's Florida State, everyone's so low on these guys, as they should be after the first 3 games this season. These guys are coming out, they're no-showing every single game on offense. DJU is throwing 4-yard passes as he was at Oregon State. It's just not the right offense for DJU. He's not the pocket presence quarterback you want playing at a high level in the ACC, playing for a team like Florida State. I think Florida State, they need to start getting the run game going, though, man. They're throwing the ball way too much. I know they've been behind in a couple of these games, but, in that Memphis game, they didn't really run the ball. In that Georgia Tech, they didn't really run the ball too much. They're really letting DJ throw the ball here. Cal, on the other hand, they're getting Jaden Ott back. Talked about this guy a couple weeks ago, man. One of the better running backs in college football, running right under the radar right now for Cal. Played at an extremely high level last year in the Pac-12. Him and Damian Martinez were probably 2 of the better running backs in the Pac-12 last year. Returning here for his senior year. They've also got another kid, Javian Thomas. This kid's a true sophomore. 5'10", 190. He's not quite like the size of Jaden Ott, but he can move really quick, and he's had some really big games when Jaden Ott's been down. With that being said, they kind of got a 2-headed monster over there with both of these kids running the ball. Cal knows how to run the ball. And Florida State, we saw they couldn't really stop the run against Georgia Tech. And what does Georgia Tech like to do? They like to run the ball a lot as well. Florida State, on the other hand, they don't like to run the ball. They like to throw the ball. I already mentioned DJU's throwing at an extremely high rate right now. Not a successful rate. They're failing when they get into the red zone. They're not capitalizing. They're not scoring. Cal, I believe they have 9 interceptions going into this game in 3 games. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. It might be 8. I know it's not less than 8. These guys, this secondary is playing at an elite level, given the competition level. They did beat Auburn at home 21-14 in week 2, which was a big win for this Cal program. Big win against an SEC program like Auburn. I think California is going to want to. I think they're going to want to run the ball with both of these guys. They've got the quarterback, Fernando Mendoza, big guy. He's a physical runner as well. Not the best passer, honestly. He's got some decision-making skills he needs to improve on, that's for sure. But he can also run the ball, and I think Cal's just going to want to run the ball against these guys and burn this clock up. And I believe that Florida State's going to have some good drives against Cal defense too, but when they get into that red zone, DJU is going to do what he does best, and he's going to throw those interceptions when it really matters, which is in the red zone, and they haven't been efficient in the red zone. So looking at this one, I think it's going to be a very low-scoring game. It's such a tough matchup, man. Florida State 2.5 against Cal. Like, when did we think we were going to see this? Everyone's pounding Cal too. They're a public road dog. I believe this is their first ACC matchup too. So I'm scared on the side total in this one, or on the side in this one. I'm on the total. I got in at 45. It's a 44.5. Give me the 40 under the 44.5 at whatever juice you can get me, the best juice, whatever the best number you can get. I think this is going to be a low scoring affair. I think Cal's going, like I said, they're going to want to run the ball. That's what they do best. And they've got a 2-headed monster over there now in Jaden Ott and Javian Thomas. These guys are really good over there, really talented. So look for this game to go way under the total of 44.5. Look for it to go somewhere around the 36 to 37 range.
All right. Good bets there. I like that one. Time the under and Woke Campbell Arena, or Stadium, I should say. So shout out to Florida State. Cal, this is going to be a fun game indeed. Probably not going to have any action on this game, but I'll be rooting for you, Cal Bears. I'll be rooting for you. It's going to be fun. By the way, Wine Time, here's your fun fact of the day. 2019, Cal Bears, 4-0 start.
Oh, wow.
Last time. And they beat Ole Miss as well. You had to go pre-COVID, but we all know that anything pre-COVID, it's all gone. It's all memory. That's different times. All right, let's go to our last game here, I believe, here, Wine. This is going to be a fun one.
This is a
to
good
talk
one.
about. Minnesota versus Iowa. Quite frankly, are we rowing the boat? Are we on the PJ Fleck bandwagon here? At some point, the sayings and everything gets kind of old, and you got to win football games. And I don't know. We bet on him, and we can't. Well, we bet against them on the week one. Or shout out to the Minnesota kicker for coming through for us and missing that kick early in the week here, but. Iowa, Minnesota, this is classic Big Ten football. I'm honestly surprised we see a total at 35. You could tell me this total is at 25, and I'd believe you. But let's talk about the markets here. And sure, there's no more nepotism in Iowa. Kirk Ferentz kid isn't calling plays anymore. But I still think this is going to be the same old Iowa team we know and love. 85% of the bets, 79% of the money on Iowa. Here is, always interesting to see all that money on the one side here. We have a 3, or was a 3, and we'll talk about that that spread right now, because, like you said, all the money on Iowa, and we have a 2.5 here. Minus 110 each way was juiced towards Iowa at one point. So, always interesting to take note of that. And for the total here, we have 79% of the bets, 70% of the money on the over in this game. I don't know why people are doing that. 36 was the opener, and we're down to a 35.5 here. Wine Time. Are you thinking what I'm thinking here? This has underwritten all over it. What do you think?
Jose, let me just say this. Let them bet the over. Keep betting the over, guys. Man, this is going to be another smash mouth type of football game. I picked a lot of these, old-time coaches and good coaches, conservative coaches for these games today, man. Talk about two conservative coaches, PJ Fleck and Kirk over there in Iowa, man. Iowa coach has been there for forever, man. What does he do very well? Run the ball efficiently and play very good defense. Runs one of the better defenses in the nation in the last decade. This guy got them to a Big Ten championship last year when they were averaging like 10 points a game. Just wild, man. What do? They go out and grab John Lester, the offensive analyst from Green Bay, spent some time in college football before that as a head coach. Guy who can run a good offense, helped a lot in that Jordan Love offense last year. And you talk about Iowa or Minnesota, on the other hand, they're playing in Minnesota. This is a very much hostile environment. This is a big game. This is a Midwest traditional type of game. They're playing for, it's not the bell. They're playing for something here. It's a little rivalry. You let me know what it is, Jose. But it's always a fun rivalry between both of these fan bases. The Iowa fans are going to go out there, but it's very much going to be probably about 70-30 in favor of Minnesota in this one, fan-wise. Starting off to a good start. They grabbed the transfer Max Brosmer from the FCS level, who's kind of fit right in with what PJ Fleck likes to do, which is play conservative, not turn the ball over, run the ball when you can, and get into more third and manageable situations and let your quarterback do what he does. Also, you look at Iowa, on the other hand, they're running the ball at a very efficient rate. They look at Caleb Jackson, one of the more underrated running backs in all of college football. You asked me, this guy's going to be drafted in the NFL, man. He's had 3 straight games with over 100 rushing yards on limited carries. He's doing his thing out there. He's got 6 touchdowns, I believe. This guy's a dog out there. I'm a big fan of this Caleb Jackson guy. And they also got another guy in the backfield too. They like to rotate them in and out. Both of them get what they want on opposing defenses so far this year. Minnesota, they're going to load the box, though. That's what they're going to do here because they've got the big boys up front on the defensive line that are going to attack these offensive linemen on Iowa, and they're going to want to stop the run. You look at the quarterback, Iowa, the Michigan transfer, Cade, coming off an injury. Looks pretty good to start this season. It looks a lot more year when he was healthy. I think this is going to be a smash mouth type of game. I think Minnesota is going to want to force Cade to throw the ball, and they're going to keep their guy in the islands. We're going to see if Cade can make the big time throws in a hostile environment against another Big Ten opponent that is flying under the radar right now. PJ Fleck always seem to fly under the radar. He's a good coach. His players are always playing for him. They don't have the most NIL money over there. They always seem to get the right kind of players for his system. This is going to be a good game, man. We look at the total here. I gave it out at 36.5 on Monday night when it opened up. And, I still like it at 35.5. I like it at 34.5. I like it at 33.5. When you get to the 32.5 range, I'm not going to like it as much. We'll see if it gets down there by kickoff. I'm not sure. But like I said, guys, if you like the over, keep betting it because both these teams are going to want to run the ball very efficiently. They're going to want to take time off the clock. Both teams really good in the red zone defense too. And these guys, both Midwest teams, man, they know how to recruit out there in Iowa and Minnesota. That's where you go and get your kickers. That's what a lot of these West Coast teams need to go out and do. They need to go out there and recruit in the Midwest and grab these big-time punters and kickers with the big legs because they always seem to be very talented on these type of football teams. So look for Iowa to have both teams to have limited field range when they get the ball. They're going to start off in their own zone mostly every time if there's not a score, even if there is a score. So look for a very low-scoring game. Give me the under 34.5. If whatever you can get me right now, best number.
Beautiful. All right. Well, in wine time, the reason obviously why those kickers and punters come from the Midwest is because they ain't shit to do out there except kick a ball in a field by yourself. So God bless the Midwest there as well. Beautiful work, wine time. By the way, they play for the Floyd of Rosedale. I would probably assume that's actually pronounced, and it's a pig. It's a beautiful like a metal pig, trophy pig, and it's going to be a great time.
It's crazy that they're playing all these rivalry games in the beginning of the season. Now, I'm props to Iowa and Iowa State for being able to play each other. It's weird to see them play early in the season. It's weird to see this game played early in the season. These games are usually played in October and November. So the fans are going to be here for this one. They're going to love this. It's going to be a really fun game to watch, guys, if you like smashing out type of football. Jose, what's the best number can you get me a 35 at a little bit of a juice right now by chance? A 36. I apologize. 36.
No, I could get you a 36 under minus 115.
Yeah, give me that. Let's count that.
That's still good money there, wine time. So we will make that official for you. All right. First half breakdown here of all these games here. I appreciate you for joining me here. He'll be joining me here on Wednesdays going forward, so cannot wait. Obviously, every Wednesday with you, Wine Time is going to be a very fun one. Follow Wine Time on Twitter at Wine Time Sports. Get these plays early. Don't miss out. Turn on your tweet notifications for them, Wine Time. Any final thoughts for the people?
Yeah, Jose, thanks for having me, man. Another blast with you here on a Wednesday, man. Getting it in early. Shout out to you for everything that you do, man, behind the scenes, on screen. Shout out to you, man. Also, shout out to everyone in the chat. Kong's Clip, DC Capper, Billy Fiedrich, Coin, Robert Franklin, Saturated. My boy Cedars came in to support. Kong's Clip, as always, my guy. Can't wait to do the work, break down these games with you on Saturday with Dabby Cab. It's going to be a blast, man. We got a lot of good games coming up this weekend, so I'm looking forward to it, Jose. Good luck to you guys, and good luck to everyone in the chat. Follow me on X at Wine Time Sports.
Beautiful work, Wine Time Sports. Thank you, as always. Great job. Beautiful. All right. This is going to be a fun one here. We have a few more games left. And boy, oh boy, I love talking sports with my next guest. Any kind of sport. It could be. And this is the beautiful thing about this capper. He's a unicorn capper. Do you need college football breaking down? Yes. Do you need college baseball broken down? Sure. Do you need two bums fighting on the street, handicapping broken down? I bet you this man could do that efficiently. He is a unicorn capper, one of my favorite cappers to share the screen with, Mr. Connor Mack. Picks, miggity Mack, joining the program. Connor, hello. Nice to see you. How are you doing?
Jose, I'm good. Sorry. Shout out to Wine Time for going in there right away. I had a few things going on. I could have made it, but I appreciate it. Shout out to the chat. Yeah, I like this week's games as well. I had a losing week after I red hot. I went 6-8. Small losing week last week, but still we're up huge. I went 2-0, 12, and 5, and 9, and 4 the week before. And I got a slew of games here. I'm ready to roll. Yes. You got your Oklahoma State jersey on there?
Of course. I had to broke down Utah, Oklahoma State just now. I would love to hear your thoughts on it. I just slandered the good state of Utah, called them the fake U, and I can't wait to whoop their ass here on the Saturday.
The fake U. Okay. I think Oklahoma State can win. I mean, it looks like Rising is a go. They were holding him back. We talked on Monday. I didn't think he'd play. He's going to play now. But I don't trust – I mean, how bad is this here? It's his ring finger of his throwing hand. You know, it's not the index or the thumb, so it's not that bad. And usually you could tape these two together, your middle and your ring finger. So, yeah, he's back, but I like Oklahoma State and Gundy as a dog. You know, if these even touch 3, they're gone right away. And I don't think they have they? Since last night. I've been looking. There's been no 3s.
Yeah, I think we've been seeing 2.5, excuse me. I can pull it right back up here for us here real quick. But yes, I do call this team the fake U. I used to write about the Pac-12 and slandered them a little bit. Yes, I've got 2.5s here. It opened up 2.5 Oklahoma State, -2.5, and then it flipped to -2.5 Utah, but no 3s.
Yeah, just a little bit different team than, where I want Utah is at Salt Lake, where they're so good at home. And not much, and right, like in that game against Baylor, the second half, they got up to a little bit of lead. I just didn't think they looked impressive. And they're going to have to lean really on that defense this week. I don't know if they can get it done. It's a great game, though, in this one. Not only I like Gundy as a dog, both these coaches, crazy great against the number, Jose. I mean, they're like close to almost 60% in a lot of them, as whether they're dogs or even short favorites on the road. If you go through all the numbers, they're both very, very good. And two guys I've loved to back. So should be a good one.
Agreed. Should be a very fun one indeed. I cannot wait. Wine time on Utah. I'm on Oklahoma State. A little stake bet there. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. All right, Connor, let's talk about your games that you got lined up here today. I cannot wait to hear your thoughts, feelings, and emotions on them. No overlaps here today, which was nice to see. So a whole different bunch of games from Connor Mack, starting with Houston and Cincinnati here. I'm still not used to Cincinnati being a Big 12 team. I will admit that. Just as much as I'm not used to Houston being one as well. But let's talk about dramatic line movements. We had Cincinnati -6 in this spot earlier in the week on the 15th and just coming down 3.5, down to 3. It gets back up to 3.5 here, Connor. But goodness gracious, we have a bunch of movement on Cincinnati here in this game. Now, let's talk about the market here and see the percentage of bets, because like I said, Houston actually is what I should be saying is the popular side here based on that movement. 56% of the bets, 56% of the bets, 61% of the money on Houston, and yet we have that dramatic movement. Connor, let me know your thoughts on this game. Breaking news, what's going on in this matchup?
Yeah, how about Houston? I'm just going to get to them first. Not known under Holgson as a very good defense at all. They lost supposedly a bunch of their best players, all these transfers. I've been shocked how well this defense has played. It's just been really, really good. Whether it was UNLV got out to the lead, the offense was behind. They had a few turnovers with Smith. They lose that game. But I saw the Oklahoma game. I thought the defense played really, really good, and to hold them to 16 points. And last week against Rice, where a lot of people liked Rice catching those points, and they just dominated them. I mean, E.J. Warner had nothing. They had like 84 passing yards total, and they couldn't really run it either. This team's just been dominant on the defensive side. And you got to give hats off to Willie Fritz. I mean, that's really his background. I know at Tulane, a little bit the last couple of years they got into, their offense was a little bit better and maybe got into some shootouts, but he's really turned this around. And on the flip side here, Smith's looked better, and I still don't trust this offense. They're going to want to run it. Smith is going to keep this clock just slow. And on the other side, nothing makes me love the Cincinnati team. And the Cincinnati team's been the shits against the number constantly here, Jose. They covered last week against Miami, Ohio. Both teams, though, had the same amount of yards, almost 400 and 380. Miami, Ohio just couldn't get anything done. A team that struggles when they get down and get into the red zone. And Cincy the week before had that big lead at home against Pitt and just let that one go. They won't move the ball a ton. I don't trust Sorsby here. I don't think he's that great of a quarterback. I think Houston smothers them. This is low scoring. This is tight. Not only I agree with the points. I'll have something a little on that. It's come down a little bit like you talked about. But I'm on the under 48 in this game. This does not get over. You know what Rice did last week too, Jose? 0 for 11 on third down.
Christ.
0 for 11. I can't. This Houston defense playing well right now with a bunch of transfers and just playing great football. I want the under here. 48 too much. Under 48 minus 108.
All right, under 48 there for Connor Mac picks. Good money there. Excited. Admittedly, Connor, it's going to take me about 3 years to get Dana Holgorsen coaching Houston out of my head.
Well, that's what still was even in my mind. And I thought it would take time with Fritz. I'm just a little bit, how well, go to Oklahoma, not the easiest place. They're dealing with their own issues a little bit, whether it's their line, Jackson Arnold, the whole deal. I'm sure you've already talked about Tennessee, Oklahoma. But still, I thought they played really, really good. Last week was excellent again. I just don't think the Cincy team's going to go up and down the field at all. And I think this line starts going down, too, here as the week goes on.
Okay, I like that look.
And I'm going to have a piece of Houston. I have a little bit better number than this 3.5.
Okay, beautiful. I like that. I like that look. The under here for Connor Mac picks. And we roll on to it. You know what? It's not as sexy, but God damn it provokes blood flow for me. James Madison in North Carolina, baby. Come on. Little North Carolina, Virginia rivalry here. Shout out to James Madison. I know plenty of people that went to James Madison. Shout out to JMU, the Dukes. But this isn't basketball, unfortunately. I think they'd have maybe a better shot to win this game in basketball. Maybe last year football they would have had a shot. I don't know, but I'm very interested to hear what you have to say. North Carolina, 10-point favorites. They're on to their backup quarterbacks. Max Johnson breaks his leg, I believe it was, in the beginning of the season. And we saw the backups come in right after, and everyone was like, oh, boy, North Carolina's fucked. And it's going to be very interesting to see if they can cover 10-point spreads here. So I'm interested. Let's talk about where the money and the percentages have gone for the spread thus far. James Madison getting sharp action, 56% of the bets, 78% of the money on the Dukes. Very interesting. Line going from 10.5, and I'm going to refresh one time just to make sure we're getting good info here. 10.5, and it's not really moved much. It did at one point. Well, it was at 13 at one point, and then topples down to 10.5. I feel like that's more some news-related information there instead of line movement. And for the total here, we'll talk about that now. North Carolina here, 64% of the bets, 50% of the money on the over. So you could say sharp action on the under in this game. I probably tend to believe that here. I think two offenses that might struggle to score here. 48 was the opener. We're at 48.5 now at our friends at Bet Online. Connor Mac, take it away.
Shout out to the chat. Shout out to my guy, Dutchy Dutch, man. My guy in the chat, my dude. We will link up soon. Our guys are going to be in town. Nick Schnizzle will be here. We will playing around the golf right on this golf course right here.
Oh, watch out! Don't let Schnizzle hustle you for your money. That guy. Woo!
No, I think it'll be all right. I don't play enough anymore, but I think I can hang around a little bit as well. I don't know if he's bringing his clubs though. I gotta talk to him if he's gonna bring the sticks, because I used to have tons of them. I donated years ago, especially when my dad moved we gave them all basically away. I'd have tons of sets for them, but not anymore. Shout out to Collins Clips. Thanks, my man. Appreciate it. I was wondering what the praying hands were there before. Yeah. But I thanks, dude. I'm not dying. DC Capper, all you guys, Billy, Robert Franklin, AOD, Tori Coker, everyone saturated. My guy. Appreciate all you guys in here. This game, I kept going back to it. Jose, like, do I keep this off here? I just don't trust North Carolina. They have the better athletes. They do. In this one, Johnson's out to the 2-quarterback system here, Criswell and Harrell. They are at home. I get they do have Duke is their next game. They have a few injuries. Their kicker is out. Just some small things. And maybe they win this game. But I had to take the 10.5 with James Madison. They're off a bye week. This offense hasn't looked very good at all. I mean, they just beat Gardner-Webb. But I have to say, Gardner-Webb just lost to Charlotte as big dogs, and I like them. And these teams have all played. Then both teams have played Charlotte. And it was a little bit late for James Madison to pull away from Charlotte, 37. But I didn't really think the North Carolina game was real impressive. They won by 18. They didn't cover against Charlotte. Barnett, he's been all right. He's still just not a really great quarterback. They're going to need to run it. James Madison last year before they lost everything, and now Chesney's in, the head coach for him. Their defense was great and great against the run. I mean, against the run, they only gave up like 80 yards a game. Only UCLA, Penn State, Michigan were better. This year, they've given up a little bit more in these few games. It's right around 125, 130, the average. And North Carolina's got a pretty good running back. Omarion Hamilton, he had 210 against Central in their last win. North Carolina, though, they can't cover a number here, Jose. This team's 1-8 and won the last 10. They just can't do it. I know this is down lower. James Madison's going to keep this ugly, and I got the hook. As much as the athletes in North Carolina could pull this out, I got to be on James Madison plus 10.5. I just kept coming back to it when I went through it over and over.
I mean, it makes complete sense to me, Connor. You have this like sandwich game before a rivalry game. James Madison off a bye. And by the way, Connor, you're an encyclopedic knowledge. Has a quarterback system ever worked? The only time I can only a little bit remember it succeeding was the first time I ever remember it being done. Mike Glennon? I don't know. With the older Glennon brother and Michael Vick, or no, it was a Tyrod. I don't even remember. I think it was Tyrod, actually. It was a Glennon and Tyrod. They were splitting snaps at Virginia Tech, and it seemed to work. And even then, it didn't work because Tyrod Taylor was triple the quarterback that Sean / Mike Glennon was and is.
Hey, don't rip. Mike Glennon had a career. It's not that.
Well, Tyrod, it's crazy that Sean or Mike Glennon, I don't remember which one it is now. I think Mike Glennon is the one that's still a backup. But Tyrod played in college with his brother and is still in the National Football League while his little brother is in the National Football League as well. Crazy shit there. Crazy shit there. But all this to say, James Madison plus 10.5.
Hey, I hate it too. I think in some of the smaller schools it works, the 2 quarterback. But when you get here in these bigger schools and teams, I hate it. I just hate it. Unless you bring a guy in that's just like a wildcat type, maybe like that's just a few snaps, you know what's going to happen. But when you got guys rotating, I talk about all the time. I hate it. I fucking hate it.
Yeah, so. I can't get there either. Agreed here. JMU plus 10.5. We roll on. All right, Connor. This is an interesting game here. Vandy, Missouri. Now, I did indeed bet against Missouri last week. Shout out to Boston College.
Nice. I kept that off. I wanted to take BC. Congrats on the win.
Thank you. I decided mentally that Bill O'Brien is going to be bet on in college football because he was a good NFL coach. And if he's a good NFL coach, what is a good NFL coach?
I think he was a good coordinator. Yeah, I don't know
That's
about a
fine,
head
too.
coach.
I'll take
Yeah,
that
okay.
too.
All
How
right.
much better is a good coordinator in the NFL than offensive coach or defensive coach or any kind of college football coach? I just think that he's going to outcoach everyone. But that's not the point of this breakdown. The point of this breakdown is to say Missouri struggled a bit last week. I know, again, I just said Billy O.B. is going to outcoach every coach he sees, but it was shaky. And I mean, Connor, you know me. I'm all baseball right now. I'm focusing on baseball. I was shocked to see Missouri at number 6 last week. I'm still a little surprised to see them at this high of a ranking. But, whatever. Is Missouri the real deal this year? We saw Vanderbilt. They rode the mountaintop. They beat Virginia Tech. It cost me money, and then it goes right back down into the drain and lose to another shit team. But I'm interested to hear what you have to say about this game here, Connor.
Yeah, and are there 21s out there still with Vandy?
Let us talk about that right now, Connor. Good note here. Vanderbilt, we'll start with the spread here. We're getting 20s now, 20 and a half, 20 around here. It was 21 and a half here about an hour, not even an hour ago, about 15 to 20 minutes ago. Actually, it was 20 and a half or 21 and a half, 20 in our friends at Bet Online. Now we'll update the market here. And, of course, 63% of the bets, 56% of the money on Missouri. And like I said, 21 down to 21 or 20 and a half, excuse me. And for the total here, we have Vanderbilt here, 65% of the money and 65% of the bets, 53% of the money on the over in this game. It has gone down a half point here from 54.5 to 54. But yes, we are starting to see 20 and a halves here, Connor.
This is a little bit of another one because I need to get the best number because I do think Vandy in this game can hang around. I'm a big Pavia fan. Shout out to Collins. Well, let's hit on that game in a little bit. Georgia Tech, Louisville. I think that could be good. There's still some unknowns a little bit with Louisville, but they are at home. One thing, though, that I found out with Vanderbilt, this defense is awful. The secondary is really, really bad. They're in this game with Pavia. It's him kind of with his legs and making plays. That's why my two leans were them, the 21. But if I could find, this is the thing, team totals kind of just came out last night, and we're doing this. They're not on Monday. And I wanted to look at Missouri as long as it was under 37, their team total. Vanderbilt, again, lost to Georgia State. They gave up 36. They had a big win against Virginia Tech, but they gave up a ton of yards. And one place where they've just been awful, whether it is the last few years, is on the road. And they just give a shit ton of points on the road. 48 at Tennessee, 47 to South Carolina last year. I don't think much is changing. At Florida, 38. They just haven't been very good at all. Last year, they were at home, Missouri. Missouri had 38-21. I think that could be a similar type game in this one. So look around. I need the team total to be under 37, and I'm going to move on Missouri, their team total. If not, I'm going to ditch it and just kind of think about Vandy with this offense of theirs that could get to it. And Missouri, they don't really have – they do. Actually, they play at A&M, and then they're at UMass. So they finally hit the road. They've had a ton of games. A little bit asleep. There's some other people I know that liked Missouri last week. I still thought it was too much. And once Castellano scored right away, it was good. He gave up some turnovers, and that was the killer. Missouri still has a very good defense. Like, it's played nobody, but last year I thought it got better and better. Now, is it like elite, top 10? But I think they're a top, 30, top 40 defense for sure here. So can they hold down Pavia? I think a little bit. I think they can get some touchdowns. But hit me with anyone got a number on the team total here.
Yes.
Under 37.
Help us out there, chat. Indeed. I was looking up Louisville, Georgia Tech stuff, and I can tell you Bet Online here. And what was the number you're looking for again, Connor? Under what?
I just need under 37. As long as the 36.5 isn't juiced, I will take it.
Beautiful. We will
Crazy.
continue to look for that. Let us know in the comments and the chat if you guys find that number for us, please and thank you. Connor, let's take a quick detour from your games and we'll answer a question here from Kong's Clips. He's asking about Georgia Tech Louisville. Georgia Tech Louisville. He just wanted to wanted your thoughts here. He's high on Louisville. And he thinks that everyone finds out how good Louisville is this weekend. 10.5-point favorites to Georgia Tech here. What do you think here, Connor?
Yeah, this game, I mean, right now I'm just off because everything wants me on Georgia Tech. Just how good he's been as a dog on the road. If people are going to look at Georgia Tech, like, yeah, they beat Florida State. Look how bad Florida State is. Are these wins that good? The loss to Syracuse, I faded them that week. I love Syracuse. And they kind of got some late scores. That was 34-14 in the fourth to get a little bit closer. There's just nothing with Louisville. They've played 2 cupcakes. They're at home. You know, one time when these teams get together, they've both been able to just run the ball. And that's why I love Georgia Tech so much. Run it with this great offensive line. And even King, the quarterback, run it. And him not make mistakes. But if he does make mistakes, they could lose here and not cover, which has me a little bit worried. And I still don't know much with this Louisville team. When I used to back them, they're one of the teams, you know, like the Brewers, Jose, a little bit in Major League Baseball. Louisville, laying points with them has been just a problem for me. And this is going back 10 years or so, maybe longer. Yeah. It just hasn't been good off 2 great wins. Here, the quarterback's great. You know, Oregon to here, Shuck. He's looked really good. He should have some success as well. I mean, McCord had 380, so he should be able to throw it too. I leaned a little bit to the over as well. I think we get some points both ways. How can both these offenses be stopped? Because I don't really trust defenses, and I need to see more of the defense of Louisville. I just, it's so early in the year, 2 easy wins. But I need to see more with it. Okay. What's Kong's like? He's going to lay it with Louisville?
Yeah, Kong likes the 10.5 here. Market in this game real quick. I'll let you know, Kong's 53% of the bets and 75% of the money on Georgia Tech here. Very interesting. They seem to remember those early games here, perhaps. This line opened up at 10 and is now 10.5 here. With Louisville. So that's fascinating. And for the total here, real quick, my guy Kongs, and of course, thank you, Kong, for being a gold member here. 53% of the bets and 63% of the money on the under in this game. And the under, as a college or as a baseball bettor, I don't see that very much. So I find that to be very weird when that happens. It's gone from a 58 to a 57.5 here at Bet Online here. So very interesting. Connor, we'll go back to your games here, and I hope everyone's favorite capper, Moneyline Mills, is in the chat here because we're talking about his Wildcats here. Kansas State may be the second best team in the Big 12 versus BYU. I'm very interested to see what this Kansas State team is, Connor. Avery Johnson, I'm misremembering his name right, but the freshman quarterback, Kansas State, kicks out Will Howard. And have you been impressed by him, Connor? Because I feel like I expected more.
No, I mean, I think he's been fine.
Okay.
Talking about Johnson?
Yeah, I thought, I don't know. I was expecting, I don't know what I was expecting, I guess.
Well, he's a guy. He's got to use his legs. We just did a game with King. He's similar. Maybe not the best pocket passer, but in a situation like this, he needs to lay off the turnovers, and I think it'll be okay.
Freshmen and turnovers are synonymous, so I'll tell you that. So we'll start with the spread. Bet Online opened this up at a 7. We're at a 6.5 now at BYU. Obviously, a big game for BYU here. This is probably their second most important, maybe not second, but it's a very important game. This in the Utah rivalry, we all know. 70% of the bets, 74% of the money on Kansas State, and yet we've gone down from 7 to 7.5. I find that to be interesting here.
6.5.
6.5. You're right. Thank you. And for the total here, 53% of the bets and 72% of the money on the under, and we've gone up a half point here, 48 to 48.5 on Bet Online here. I'm all ears. I'm very interested to hear what you have to say about this. This is going to be a fun game.
Yeah, I'm not very happy in the morning. I did get in this game already because I thought even late last night, early this morning, there were 7s in this game. They are not. All the money here on Kansas State of what we've seen. They're winning, right, Jose? They won again, and we'll get to them. Last week, I thought they played great. I thought the defense at home. Arizona scored there right away, nothing else. And they moved the ball. One thing, K-State, the defense, I thought was really good, especially on third down against Arizona, and kind of just clamped them even though they gave up some yards. Arizona got nothing else. One thing with K-State, too, I even thought of this game because I've noticed they've been a lot better, to me, in the second half of a lot of games, even dating back to last year. So I'm keeping that in my mind as well. This is Johnson. Can he, get the job done here on the road with his legs and his arm? He's going to have to make some plays. I've been a little bit surprised by BYU on the other side, but it's really who they played. SMU's down. I didn't think they went outright. I had them, but they did. Wyoming's in trouble right now. And they had the easy win and cover against Southern Illinois week 1 at home. They're dealing with some problems at running back. LJ Martin's out. Rapati's out. But they might be in. They sat out last week, and they might be in here. They do have some decent guys behind them. But the quarterback play has been pretty good. This is a team, scares me a little bit, in BYU. They've been pretty bad again on third down, even last week. BYU, just ugly numbers. But Retzlaff, another dual threat quarterback, just like Johnson. He needs to take care of the ball. I thought he's been, for who they played, been solid throwing it. I mean, last week against Wyoming team that has trouble, but 291, 3 TDs and a pick, 6 carries for 62. I think he does more here. I love that too, because now I see in a couple 6, Jose. That's why I'll give it out here. I want the 7, but I'll take the 6.5. BYU at night here. You go back further, the numbers are even better. The place is going to be going crazy. I talk about there's places, Provo, Salt Lake. You don't want to be there at night. It'll be crazy. I think the BYU defense kind of does enough, and I think this game's tight, and you're going to want the points. And straight up, too, since 2019, 21-5. I think the game's tight. I think we're going to need the points. I want the 7. Normally, I don't do this. Kind of like last week with South Carolina. I waited. I didn't get the 7, but I still had to move on the 6.5. And now I see 6s with all the money on K-State. I'm on BYU here.
Makes sense. I will be on BYU as well here, Connor. I'll tell you that. I like BYU, like the spot. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just preconditioned to bet against Kansas State here because I thought their quarterback was a little underwhelming. Who knows? But yeah.
Hey, they're good. Giddens is good. The running back is really good. Like, these are the games where if they could dominate and go on the road and win and cover, it's like, you look out. But first 2 games they didn't cover. They covered last week. I thought they looked really good, but tough spot, I think, here. And they got a big game against Oklahoma State next week at home.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do indeed. And let's talk about more big.
They have, last year, BYU was bad as a dog. Not all those were at night, JT. They lost to Iowa State. They had a couple of bad losses, but I'm on them here. Give me 6.5.
You got it, and I will be on it as well. I trust my guy Connor Mack picks, so I believe in it here. So let's go on to what was, Connor, my favorite team of the week last week, Arizona State. God bless you, Arizona State. God bless you for rolling into San Marcos, Texas, and putting Texas State over your knee and just slapping them on the bottom and showing how bad he is.
Wait. They won by 3 here, Jose.
But hey, that's all they had to do.
I know, but that's all they need to do. We talked about it last week, right? They just had to go in and win. And then when the line went the other way, I mean, you could have even got 3. So you're right. But I don't know about slapping that at, bending them over.
Well, said people in San Marcos, Texas, Connor, they were talking playoff. They got excited. Now they're definitely still in the playoff hunt, but I just needed to see them humbled. And it was nice to see that, especially after leaving Connor in the third quarter of UTSA Texas State and being shit on as I was walking out of the stadium. So I was harboring some resentment. I was definitely harboring some resentment there. But thank you, Arizona State, for coming through here. Now you go on the road to face Texas Tech. I mean, Connor, look, this line just screams Big 12 football. It's like, all right, we don't know who's going to win. -3 to the home team. We'll jack up the total because we know there's going to be a shitload of points, and we're just going to let Jesus take the wheel from there. So this feels like classic Big 12 ball with, again, a Pac-12 Arizona State, who is now Big 12, which I'm still going to take a few years to get used to this shit, but I'm excited for this game just to see how, real this big total is going to be. 50% of the bets, 63% of the money on Texas Tech here. We have this line opening up at, let me find this opener here. Texas, a lot of Texas teams. There we go. Texas Tech -3.5. And we are now at a 3. It's juiced to Texas Tech on that 3, but it is now down. So it's kind of interesting in that respect here. And for the total here, we opened up at a 60.5. It is still at 60.5 here. And we have a split of 55% of the bets and 59% of the money on the over here. Fascinating game. I'm just eternally interested to see what a Texas Tech team can do here against, I don't know how good Texas Tech really is, but Arizona State struggling on the road against them it definitely doesn't provide too much confidence. I know it was a huge road game for Texas Tech, but I still ultimately don't know if I could trust them. Texas Tech rolls North Texas 66-21 in their last appearance. They lose to Washington State 37-16, and they I was going to say crush, but I just had to blink twice and look. They snuck out. If people forget, or at least I forgot that they snuck out a 52-51 victory against Abilene Christian, of all teams here. I don't know. I'm very excited to watch this game. The 3-0 Sun Devils team, especially coming off the Herm Edwards era, I'm sure is like a breath of fresh air, to say the least, here for Arizona. But, they've rolled and they've beaten Mississippi State. They beat Texas Tech. So, honestly, I kind of lean in that direction. And now that we look at it, let's go to the chat here and see what you guys have to say. Robert Franklin likes a 60 over 60 coin. Thank you for putting these circa openers in here as well. I think they're very helpful. Obviously, Bet Online is a little different, but I appreciate you putting these in here. Banana and Grapes likes Arizona State. Coin saying Arizona State 24-13-1 ATS as a dog since 2018. And again, that was through Herm Edwards. So that's pretty shocking to see. Connor, what are your thoughts on this game?
This is another one a little bit. Watch out right here. What did we just see, Jose? What have we just saw? A little bit. Arizona State. Big wins at home. How good were those teams? Wyoming, Mississippi State, especially a dominant first half. And then they go on the road.
Mississippi State lose and get their ass slapped by Toledo as well.
You got their ass kicked. That's a good game. I mean, it's tough to back. How would you want to back Florida in Starkville, laying points? Man, that's a whole game. Everyone's going to love Arizona State here. Texas Tech has got problems. They have problems defensively, big time. To me, I'll be quick with this one. We could get to the side. I just think this total's too low. This should be 63 or 64. I think these offenses are really, really good. I mean, 66-21, that easy win over. I mean, that total went all the way up to 70-71 last week. And they made so many mistakes against Washington State, Jose, or they would have had 30 in that game. That 37-16 loss. It was on the road. Horrible turnovers with Morton. He's got to be good here at home. He was last week. This Texas Tech team is different at home, and that's why they're favorites. I'd watch out if you were taking Arizona State, as long as Texas State takes care of the ball. But I think Arizona State's going to get theirs. I think they're going to get plenty in this game. Levitt's look good. They got Scatabo. He didn't even have that big of a game against Texas State. So Texas State puts up 28. Texas Tech is going to put up a little bit more. I saw the value in this total. I got to be on the over here, 60. Is there a 60 flat?
Let me tell you right now, you like the 60. I mean, yeah, this is going to be such Big 12 football here. It's going to be a fun, high-scoring game, hopefully for your sake here, Connor. Let me tell you right now, I'm only seeing 60 and a halves. Unfortunately,
that's all right. I wanted a 60, but let me see if I can find one.
Yeah, I was about to say you might be able to find one because you have all your Vegas books out there, your FanDuels and shit. My site doesn't have those, so I'm sure you might be able to. But 60 and a half minus 110 or minus 108, actually, best number we can get you as of right now. But I still like that look. I mean, again, classic Big 12 over football. Think Texas Tech will have a shootout here, and Arizona State just went on the road in a tough. It's not going to be the same as Texas Tech, but I think it's going to be more ravenous than it was. San Marcos was definitely more, active and ravenous than Texas.
It was, but Lubbock. This is where I back Texas Tech a ton. It's a little bit. You see this. These teams are 3-0. These people love them, especially if you've been making money on them. I'm just saying. Look out. That's all I mean. And maybe it continues. But I think they'll have success on offense because Texas Tech, when you go through everything, the defense has been not very good. I mean, they're 123. They have just a ton of yards, whether it's on the ground or through the air. So I just think there's success with both these teams. And I love Texas State had a ton as well. It tightened up in that fourth quarter. There were turnovers. And that kept that game just under the total, which was right here at 60. But I just see it a little bit more. I don't know if that happens again. This gets over. So I just saw a ton of value with the number.
Okay, beautiful. Connor, thank you so much for joining me here. Excellent.
I want to hit this up because I'll go through a couple more. San Jose State, this is a game I bet, though, 14.5. It's 12.5. I just want to throw that out there. That's Friday night at Washington State. Auburn, Arkansas. I like Arkansas a little bit, but I kind of like that over in that game. I don't think we could get it here. I just wanted like a 57.5 instead of 58. That's just me being greedy. I'm trying to get the best lines I can. This game I did bet. That's still the same. Put it on here, Jose. Bowling Green, plus 23. Give it to me. Minus 106, I think is the best number. Give me a Bowling Green. Plus 23. Minus 106. That's one ad I can give. The number's the same. There, they cover against Texas A&M.
Oh, okay. Well, I like that. I faded A&M last week, hoping that Graham Mertz would not show his.
I didn't. Yeah, and I'm glad I didn't. Because I took them against Miami a little bit. This team's just not very good right now. I want to take Mississippi State. That's where I want to go to this week.
You lose against Toledo. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
How do you not bounce back? So
I know at Starkville, or traditionally they've been better. Now last year the last couple years have been down, but still they play their better football there. But they have issues too. Sometimes when it's like that, I just got to stay off if there's games I like better. But I think that would be Mississippi State or nothing. You want to lay points with Florida right now, a touchdown basically to get you the win and cover.
Not with Graham Mertz, I'll tell you that. Not with Graham Mertz even a little bit. So I agree with you wholeheartedly there. All right, Connor, any more ads or anything you want to give out?
Just that one. Because I bet it for sure. I think UCLA LSU could go over. I think that's just a little bit too low. The UCLA offense is just horrible, but LSU's defense is just they're awful. I think UCLA is very slow. They've looked just like dog shit. As Babano says, Garber's garbage. He's been garbage. Our guy Weinstein, I'm sure, saw that. Wasn't he there at the UCLA game last week? I'm sure he saw it. That was one, too. A little like Virginia. Some of these games I stayed off that were better. I kind of like that under in that Indiana UCLA. Hey, you don't play defense, Indiana put up a 42 spot on them. So I don't know how LSU doesn't do their thing. Even their team total is a look at for me as well. LSU team total.
Okay.
And I'm going to look up the Missouri. I got to find that. Yeah, it's just early in the week. They did come out last night. If I take it, it has to be, I'd like it to be under 36, but under 37 for sure. I'm not going to go that way. And I might even take Vandy plus 21. I'll let you know.
All right. Well, please do. Connor, thank you again, as always, for joining me. I cannot wait to have you on these Wednesday shows. I appreciate you. And I'll use this time to remind people saturated asking if there's a poker tournament tomorrow. They're damn right there is.
Nice.
Poker tournament. It's a free roll BetOnline is putting out, and you must have a promo code to join it. So you won't be able to see it until you put in that promo code PSR ticket right there. Our friends at BetOnline tomorrow and next Thursday. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. The cards are dealt at 9 p.m. Eastern, and the top 5 players are entered into a $400,000 tournament. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. Cannot wait. I'll be there playing on the Thursday night stream this week. It's going to be too much fun, God damn it, on Thursday night. Cannot wait. Connor, appreciate you as always. Please go watch Connor and our guy Bobano Monday mornings, afternoon, whatever time you want to consider that. Hitting the
10 o'clock. 10 o'clock, 1 Eastern, hitting the books. Appreciate it. Let's get the time right here, Jose.
Yeah, well, yes, it just depends on where you are.
Yes.
Morning, afternoon, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 o'clock on the fresh side, as Dutch would say. So shout out to you and Hitting the Books. Please go watch that program. Any other things you want to let the people know about, Connor?
Just shout out to all you guys, JT, Raymond, Kongs. I saw Kongs. I do like Syracuse a little bit. I saw you put first half. I would look that way. I don't know if Stanford can score here. This is their first ACC game all the way at, the old Carrier Dome. It'll be loud. If Daniels has time and can do what he wants, maybe they cover, but I don't know. I think it's another one Syracuse could get early, so I saw that. Kongs, I like it. Coin, Robert Franklin, Sharon, what's up, my dude? Shout out to all you guys. Appreciate you. I'll see you next week, Jose. That is it, my man. Late.
All right, beautiful work. Connor Mack picks. Thank you. As always, we'll see him next week. Kongs, that by the way, asking, is that just for pub sports junkies? No, it's open. It's open to everyone. There are other promo codes that get you in there. So when I signed up yesterday, there was about 40 people already in Kongs. So it's open to anyone that has a promo code, but we need to show BetOnline that we can bring people and play on their site. And the more PSR ticket promo codes used, the more BetOnline is going to be happy with us. So I implore everyone to go sign up. Even if you don't have time to play, if you want to just go in and put in promo code PSR ticket, that would help us out greatly. And guess what? Again, this is a free roll. So you don't even need any money deposited into your BetOnline account. Just go in, play with us tonight. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. And then you'll decide yourself to deposit in our friends at BetOnline. So beautiful work here. Thank you, everyone that joined me here today. Follow us all on Twitter at Jose Bouquett, at Connor Mack Picks, at Wine Time Sports, at Dabby Cab. We're all there giving out our plays. All the plays will be tweeted out here today. It's going to be fun. Vincent, we're on neither one of those teams am I on. I'm on for baseball. Quickly recap: Giants, Orioles under 8, Astros, Padres over 6.5. And Minnesota Twins, Cleveland Guardians under 7. Kansas City Royals money line, and the Phillies Brewers under 7.5 there. Thank you, JT. Thank you, Wine. Yeah, I was shocked to see 3 hours. I was like, holy shit, this went by quickly. So thanks. We'll be back here again tomorrow. Remember, tomorrow, betting with Bouquett in the morning. And we have the Cappers Contest Show. Spoiler alert, Troy Torrance joining me for the Cappers Contest Show this week. So that should be a whole lot of fun. Breaking down the games, voting on our Circa contest pick. And we're under 500. So this might be the first week of the veto. So watch out. And the Thursday night football stream all tomorrow night, on top of the poker tournament that we've got going on here as well. So tune in, watch the NFL live betting stream with myself and a whole cast of characters, and play some poker along with us as well. It'll be a whole lot of fun. Thank you, Raymond, Vincent, Wine Time. Thanks for joining me, my guy. Coin, Raymond, Bananas and Grapes, Saturated, Sharon. You guys are all the backbone of this channel. Thanks, Dutch, for tuning in and watching Connor Mack do his thing here. Everyone that was in here, Sabino and Guano, our guy Justin McKelvey, and Ronnie Crawford gave out their looks earlier as well, and even MMA Mills coming in, giving out his looks. Don't forget to tune into their podcast as well, available every week. UFC is going. So thanks, everyone, for watching. Say hey, and we'll see you tomorrow.